hear that motherfucker. You should eat it out first. You know, I got your ringer on.
Oh yeah, you can cook it.
I ain't about to mess with it though. I ain't gonna mess with it. Alright, gang. We in that bitch.
Hey, we up. Big Weez.
Man, that girl Flair. The one and only. And with us. You feel me? Got the guest.
Our special Gizzy.
A familiar face.
Hustle of the year.
Official Las Vegas Paperboy. Julian Lagos again with this man in the building. Man, we back with another episode of the FinLit Footsteps podcast, man. I believe episode 19, if I'm not mistaken.
Big Weez.
We going in. So let's get it cracking, man. And back to our roots. We're gonna start with a minuscule, you feel me, little financial situation. Joe Biden, I don't know if he passed it or if they still just talking about it, but did it pass?
I think it was. I don't know. I saw that it was an intent. He was planning.
Right, that's the last I saw was it was a plan. But what we talking about is Joe Biden's plan to tax the rich. It's a big bill. That's just one of the stipulations of the bill. It's like a $5 trillion bill, but one of the things in the bill is taxing the rich. So basically, any household, not individual, but any household making over $100 million will be subject to a minimum 20% tax rate. And so if you touching 100 M's, you 20% off the rich. But you feel me? Like with some context to that, 50 of last year, 50 of the Fortune 500 companies, you feel me? The most profitable, the biggest 500 companies in the U.S. 50 of those companies paid $0 in taxes last year. So I guess this is like an effort by him to just extract more money from the wealthy people. You know, they got the lawyers and the accountants and the loopholes to skip out on their taxes most of the time. So this is his way of like digging into their pockets. Go ahead. No, I'm just explaining. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm waiting on y'all to jump in.
I heard a big point of that bill was like taxing unrealized capital gains, which just is beyond me. Like that's like something I don't even understand. Yeah.
I was gonna say this,
which
though.
makes it a very complicated bill.
Right. So how you just said that Biden was intending to like get in the pockets of people. This is that propaganda that like the government fake like they trying to do something. It is like law that business profits that come through the business is the business. So if a business got X amount of billions and billions and billions,
that don't got nothing to do with your household.
It don't got nothing to do with your household. Mark Zuckerberg, if you Google this, he has a 30-year mortgage at like a 1.7% interest rate. So he doesn't technically own his house. You can Google this. Obviously, it's the millions and millions of dollars worth of houses. A house. Like obviously, it's not no small house. But the point is, like, you can get taxed on that deal. That's a $10 million house. He good. This law this 20% don't got nothing to do with me as long as I'm not. And again, how are we pricing that? If we going off of like it just brought up unrealized capital gains, again, that don't got nothing to do with a business though. If you Google how he was just talking about the top 50 most profitable companies, if you Google how much their CEOs make, they make $0 or they make $1 as their annual salary. You just talked about how Warren Buffett had said Berkshire Hathaway got $150 billion in cash. If you got access to your phone right now, Google Warren Buffett's salary from Berkshire Hathaway. Google Bill Gates' salary from Microsoft. Google Mark Zuckerberg's. It's $1. Kid you, Google it. It's literally $1. Why? Because you get taxed on $1. That's why.
I'm not mad at that.
That's the finesse.
The business.
I'm all for that. I'm talking about, like I initially said, it's the government, how they try to fake like they doing something, but you're not. You're not going to fix this problem at all. You're going to create more tax evasion cases. The more harder you make it on tax laws, the higher tax evasion cases it gets. That's a fact. You Google it. So it's like, you just going to make problems worse. Like, what are you really doing?
And even if they did manage to somehow collect all that tax, it still won't be enough for all the spending they doing shit.
Fact.
Even if this did work as they as they say, as
Fake
they
him.
laying it out, like it still wouldn't be enough. Y'all still going too crazy with the spending and all of that, but it is what it is. But like you were saying, it's a large bill. These are just different parts of the bill. Like the tax the rich shit is one part. The taxing people for unrealized gains is one part. You feel me? It was a whole bunch of stuff in the bill. Like I said, I think the bill was like $5.69 trillion or something. So it was a lot of shit in there.
Do y'all support it? Do y'all agree with that? Like taxing the rich?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. In theory, yeah.
Really rub it down, like you said, it's just gonna make the problem worse. People are always gonna find a loophole out of things.
That CEO last year that did take home whatever, now he gonna do exactly what you said. Like, you take me off the books. You feel me? I made $1. Like,
Literally $1. Like, it's crazy.
That shit. But then at the same time, that's only in that situation. That's only the CEOs that get to do that. Like, the other executives, I guess, you don't necessarily.
Well, anybody with stock options usually gets to do that because they'll make most of their money in the stock options.
And that was another part of the bill too, actually, that people who, I think it was specifically talking about stock buybacks, executives or whatever that do the stock buybacks, they have to hold they shit. I think part of the bill is like you have to hold your shit for, I want to say 7 years or something like that, like a longer amount of time. Like you can't get the stock buybacks and the cash out immediately type shit. Like they're making you hold it for a longer period of time. But you said there's always ways around everything. But
now that you said that, they did say they were gonna tax like day trading at a higher rate, like just different ways to get the taxes like from people making money pretty much.
Right. And
Especially with capital gains.
I was gonna bring up something about the day trading taxes and shit, but that's kind of more technical. Because we can talk about that later.
Right.
We can talk about that later. We ain't gonna get that technical, I suppose, right now. You feel me? But yeah, I mean, if you don't got nothing else on that, that was just a little financial tidbit.
Did you want to add anything about Warren Buffett?
Oh yeah, you was saying something about Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I forgot the exact amount, but he said
114 billion.
I think it was 114 billion in cash.
Yeah.
That he said he has.
He has personally, or that like the company has him personally.
Personally, yeah. Warren Buffett said himself he has 114 billion.
Imagine that, like. He'll be taking baths. I seen like rappers or something take a bath and $1 million or something. Imagine you got 114. Like obviously he don't got that 114 million cash. Like liquid 140. Imagine you take out $1 billion. Like fuck Floyd Mayweather with his little duffel bag of $1 million or something. I'll take out $1 billion.
$1 billion. Dog, this is Floyd Mayweather. I just took out Floyd Mayweather.
144 billion.
144 billion. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And it was him personally? Like that's his personal net worth? Or is he saying that the company got that much cash?
The company got that much cash in hand.
What's crazy? Why are we talking about like a Warren
That's
Buffett?
crazy.
About billionaires like a
Warren Buffett got 80 billion in cash,
It's
100 billion in cash, regardless. Like,
it's crazy when I think about like their lifestyles and just them type of people in general. Because like you feel me, like people like us, like where we come from, just trying to hustle and make you want to get rich so you could be fly. You want a nice whip, nice house or whatever. Them like Warren Buffett don't do nothing. He wear the same Dockers, brown belt that he been wearing for the last 50 years, pair of New Balances or something, you feel me? I seen a little doc where he go to McDonald's every morning and get the same exact meal, and he always got the exact change.
It's the same amount of money.
The exact dollar change, like $2.14. He get a big muffin and a
coffee.
Every morning.
For $3.25.
He drive like a Cadillac, like a not nothing crazy, like a you feel me, like a 4-door Cadillac, some shit, probably a 2010 or something. You feel me? Clean, but he ain't doing it. He ain't driving a Rolls Royce Bentley.
Right. He's still living in his first house.
He's still living in the first house. His boy him like about one house. That's the house that they live in. You feel me? Like doing it up. It's really crazy the lifestyles that the richest people live, like the shit that they care about versus what the people who, you feel me, deem, I guess the people we deem like hustlers and shit, like the shit that they care about. Because when you think about like a billionaire Warren Buffett, you know, the first adjective that comes to mind is not a hustler. You feel me? That's not the first.
Right.
So that was just interesting, like how they move around, bro. I thought that was crazy. Yeah, 144 billion. Oh my god, you feel
the flex.
Share this one.
Like that's Jay-Z. Like we applaud niggas for getting $1 billion, and he has 144 of those.
They be barely scraping $1 billion.
I think
they're
their price
not buying a burger.
1.02. Right. You better not spend a penny of your money. You gonna be right back.
Stock is
Yeah, Burst start out with like 300. I can't say exactly right now.
It's like 520 something.
Something like that.
For an A share.
For an A share. Yeah. Is it over 500 now?
Yeah, it's like 520.
Oh my god. Yeah, I know that's high in the bitch.
Yeah.
A few hundred thousand
one
for
share.
sure though. A few hundred thousand for sure.
That's a conglomerate. That's
They
something
own
in itself.
everything. Everything
that's
that you,
something in
even
itself.
if they name not on it, they probably own it.
That's something in itself. Like just something that literally took a lifetime to build.
Right. No, that's a fact. Yeah, they 527 bands right now. Almost 528 for one share. Shit, you better get your ass on Cash App, nigga, boy. You for a point zero. Put your $2 on it. Oh yeah, man, yeah. So what y'all trying to do, man? What y'all trying to do? We gonna tease them, or y'all want to get straight to the shits, or what? Or y'all want to? What y'all want to do? Let's get straight to it. Slap her around the motherfucking world. Preach, man. Who want to start, man? It's the talk of the week, man. Y'all heard everybody talk about it already. Everybody will talk about it.
Facts.
But you feel me? I'm sure we got our own opinions. I said, I'm curious. What I'm curious to see is how many people. Now there's 4 of us here. I'm curious to see who agrees with who. I'm just curious where everybody stands. I'm just curious. So how y'all want to do this? Y'all want to go through and everybody get their take on it, or y'all want to?
Yeah, I mean, at first, when I first saw it, I was on Will Smith's side. I was like, you can say any jokes you want, but you will have to face the consequences of your jokes. Right? After thinking about it for a while, one, it was unreasonable, which I did think at the beginning. Like, you have the right to react to any situation how you want. Well, you don't have the right, but you have the freedom to, I guess. But over a light joke as a G.I. Jane joke, and the fact that you wouldn't have done that to somebody else. Like, Chris Rock was going to retaliate. We know his history. We all know his history. Chris Rock isn't even like that type of dude where he's going to go out and retaliate against you. So, I don't know. I don't agree with either of them. I thought Chris Rock should have kept joking on him too.
Okay.
After he said, "Stop, keep your wife's name out of my mouth," I would be like, "Keep August Alsina out your wife's mouth," or something like that. Or
That's a great company.
I would have gone like, if I was up there and I got slapped, because you got to think about it. He just slapped me. What else is he gonna do? Are you gonna shoot me after I'm talking about your wife? Like, there's no further you can go after slapping me. You just pretty much demasculated me in front of all these people.
Right.
I'm gonna go harder now. So I'm on Chris Rock's side at this point.
Go ahead. I'll let Dan go. Before Dan go though, just to your point about Chris Rock could have had a better comeback or whatever. I guess I was saying Chris Rock wanted to come back. If you like, I really watched the video a hell of times.
Yeah, he thought about it.
He said I could. He said I could.
He thought about
Chris Rock now.
He gonna snap with you for sure. Oh, come on, that's Chris Rock.
I think he was thinking about the bag. Like, I'm gonna get banned if I really go in on this.
That's good. It works. All right, Dan, you wanna go ahead, get your take on it?
Well, we can revisit the motives. I definitely want to have that discussion. I want to hear what you say about that. Okay. One, this was staged.
Everything is staged, bro. I'm starting to realize that with you. Like,
By the end of this conversation, I think you'll side with me.
I'll explain.
Can I make an argument?
Yes.
So it's staged as far as Will Smith withdrawing from the Academy. Because you see he withdrew from the Academy.
Okay. I asked you, what does that mean when in 3 months they reinstate him? What was the punishment at that point?
Make your full point first. Make your full point first.
No, you straight. Okay, initially I did not think it was staged. I thought it was real. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, so I'll give the initial reaction. I didn't think it was staged. I was like, whoa. Obviously the whole world is talking about this at the same time, and this happened at night. I was in the bed getting ready to go to sleep when this hit
Right,
social media. Like, I woke up and was like, ooh, like,
I was going ahead and think about, like, everybody seeing this shit right
everybody sees
Everybody
this.
sees
So
this.
yeah, so that was the first response. Was like, whoa, that's crazy. So
I sent it in the group text.
I know y'all
Gotta see
it. I got on Facebook and started making jokes. Like, oh, I said Will went back to the Fresh Prince. Like, I'm not playing. That was crazy. But as the story started to unfold, that is where my opinion started to turn. As more video gets released, so first of all, is Will that dumb? No.
He's that emotional. He's that.
We've never.
mentally
Okay,
passionate.
let me say.
that
Well, let me say,
passionate.
have we ever seen him be that emotional publicly about anything?
I have a point
Yes.
against that, but I'm gonna let you finish what you're saying.
Oh no.
When the whole shit was going on with Jada, yes, he was on interviews crying and shit.
Yeah, but was he pressing niggas though? That's what I mean. Like,
He ain't had
okay,
nobody
like
to
that.
press
That's
him.
what I
He
mean.
was
Was he-
interview.
the whole
Try to offer
the
one
nigga.
thing,
I can name a nigga he could have pressed.
Like I'm not saying you wrong. I want to hear your full point now.
Yeah.
But just
No,
let me just
definitely
offer
tear it down.
Let me just offer one thing. Most people who snap, I don't believe. Like do you believe they snap for a lifetime, or do you think shit builds up to that one moment
Yeah,
where you snap?
that's true. Good
They
point.
doing life in jail because they snapped for one moment.
Right.
You feel me? So
That's
shit
great
builds
point.
up, man. You have to admit that Will Smith has gone through a lot publicly in the
Just
last 2
following it
years,
up.
2-3 years.
Facts.
So,
That's a great point.
but I see what you mean. But go ahead. I want you to finish your point.
So, as this, okay,
He doesn't have a track record of this. Sorry.
he
Actually,
okay, so yeah.
he did slap that role.
He slapped that dude that kiss on him. You're right. You're right. I was thinking about that right as you said it. So that's true. Other than that situation, because that was crazy too. Totally understandable though. You know, like how often is somebody walking up to you trying to kiss you? You feel me? He probably slapped him a million times if he encountered that situation a million times. You feel me? So I totally understand that.
And Will Smith
But-
said in the interview that like sometimes he just wants to slap somebody.
So I've
So
heard him say that.
it's not completely out of character. But continue.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of the optics, I see him. Chris Rock looked like he was ready to take that hit. He initially, you so focused on the slap itself, you're not really looking at people's reaction to it. You ain't really, hold on, let me rewind it again. After days, I'm like, and if you watch it, you kind of get what I'm saying. Like after this, we can really watch it.
You
know
said
what I'm
something
saying?
about a video before. When you watch shit back and you be watching it in slow motion and shit.
I
like,
watch everything. That's
you
how
watch
I
everything back in
understand
slow
it.
motion, but in slow motion or whatever.
Yeah,
and
things can
after
look
the fact,
different.
it looks
I didn't
different.
watch it in slow
But
motion. I just watched it.
we
other
went through
times.
this with a video before, so I already know where you're coming from with it. Like, oh,
But on top of that, Jada initially laughed at the joke. There's a video of her, camera right on her face. He says the joke, and she laughs immediately. Camera on her, clear as day. It is obvious that she is laughing at the joke as he says the joke. It is overwhelmingly obvious. It is also overwhelmingly obvious on video. Will Smith is laughing at the joke. So that makes me go, Now, y'all sitting front row at the Oscars. Y'all are literally the closest people to Chris Rock. Everybody knows that a comedian is going to look in that crowd and talk about somebody, probably the people that he can get a thorough look at. The people right in front of him. Why would you like that? Like, why? He's a comedian, so like you gotta know. Like, he could talk about anything. He might talk about my suit. He might talk about my haircut. He might talk about my beard. You feel me? If I got some Beijing in my head,
So at what
and
point?
it's too
At
obvious,
what point?
he might talk about that.
At what point do you believe? I want you to keep your train of thought,
Okay,
but
okay,
I
yeah.
just want to remember. I'm not gonna remember shit as we keep going. So
I got
I'm
you.
just saying. At what point do you think it stayed from like it was stayed way beforehand, or do you think part of because to your point about them laughing, if they stayed, why would they laugh? Why would they both actors, them and Jada, like why would they laugh if they know it stayed? Why not play the serious role the whole time if you know what's happening?
Well, I think that makes it obvious. I was having this conversation with Atiana. I think that makes it obvious. If it looks staged, then yeah, you feel me? Like I feel like if they would have fought, it would have been too obvious. it makes it kind of hidden if we kind of make it like a surprise almost. So I think it would have almost blown their cover.
Right.
But what I was gonna say is, do y'all know who Regina King is?
Of course.
Okay, Regina King. If you watch the Oscars, she actually made a joke about August Alsina and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. She was calling up a bunch of single men, and then she said, "Will Smith, I know you're married, but I'm pretty sure your wife would approve." And everybody just they laughing. Regina King, you're so funny, girl. It's on video, like it's obviously on video. So I said, how can that happen? But
Will Smith can't slap her.
huh?
Will Smith can't slap her.
Jada Pinkett can. If it's that big of a deal.
She's sickly. She not getting up and slapping nobody.
Okay, you know, like I know. That's shit. I feel that, but yeah. So I don't think about that. Now, what really did me in, what really was like, oh, this you gonna love this conspiracy theory that is totally true.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really care about the slap. We care about why he got slapped. Like in terms of the debate, we care about him getting slapped. That's like, oh my God. But in terms of why he got, like, we're not debating the slap. It has happened, and we are entertained by it.
The debate is more like, what was it justified?
Yeah, like why? And they go, well, his wife has alopecia. That's usually the fallback in terms of, well, I don't want to say fallback, but that's the justification for why that wasn't okay.
I still don't know what that is.
You know. But okay.
I ain't gonna lie. First time I heard that, I was like, "Isn't that what Michael Jackson had?"
I was
That's
been
been
lying
ago.
Yeah,
All these different.
But so I was that. So what was I saying?
About Regina King made a joke. Jada didn't get up and slap her, so now we on the Chris Rock joke.
If the slap was justified or not.
Yeah, that's what people asking now.
Oh yeah, like that's really what we're talking about. So it was alopecia, right? Alopecia was really like what then became a conversation. Everybody pro alopecia awareness, right? So who was the biggest donor of the Oscars? Who do you think?
The alopecia foundation.
Alopecia, yeah.
No. It was Pfizer. Pfizer was the biggest donor to the Oscars. Now, conveniently, what pill are they working on?
They made enough money on
An alopecia pill. Conveniently. Now, I don't think stuff like that is coincidental. It's not even about conspiracy theory. Like, let's take that out of it. Would you? But it's true though. But it's true. Like, at what point is it too deep when it's true?
So
when it's true and verifiable. Like how? Like think about that. Let's take away the jokes. When it's true and verifiable, at what point is it too deep for me to consume? When it's true and provable. Then we have to go. We have to entertain the conversation. We all four of us here are so integral to this podcast because of the way our minds work.
Okay,
so think about that. I would be wrong to not go down the rabbit hole of trueness, right?
So what is the? I guess I still don't get.
I feel like this is
what did that
propaganda.
What did that do for Pfizer? What has it done for Pfizer? Just brought awareness to alopecia.
Doesn't that make your stock price go up when all of these looking like you? Well, I don't want to say that they looking like they making something because they apparently are intending to actually make the alopecia pill. But good hype always increases a stock price. You know that.
I have not heard anything about Pfizer and all of this debacle until right now, so I don't know how they benefited.
You didn't. That doesn't mean that the people tied in didn't.
Pfizer is a big what's it called for the shot for the COVID shot.
Okay, but have you heard their name anything to do with this Will Smith Chris Rock situation with the Oscars or anything?
But why would you hear that though? Right?
So
like of course you wouldn't hear that. Like
you making a point that the exposure would do numbers for their stock, but what exposure? No one knows anything about them.
Pop culture didn't. The niggas tied in and that actually are invested in Pfizer, I'm willing to bet definitely benefited off of that. Just because
but my thing is
the black people that we follow didn't talk about it to that degree of level doesn't mean that somebody in the world was having that type of conversation.
I'm confused. Is your point that you saying the stock of Pfizer went up because of exposure? Is that what you're saying?
Because of hype, almost.
Because of hype.
If you think about it, if there's a bunch of cancer awareness and just like pro anything groups, and now they see that somebody is intending to make a pill. Now all of a sudden they're going to start funding that research. There's no such thing as funding research. You send them money in their bank account. That's how you fund research. Well, more money in a bank account increases a balance sheet, right? So like if you really break it down into assets and liabilities and bullshit, now you got a lot more assets because niggas think you intending to do something with that money. Now again, I feel like they are intending, so I don't think that they're lying about it. I feel like instead of just saying we are going to create an alopecia pill, it feels like based on what is true, you create an event to announce that. How Drake was finna announce he had a kid at an Adidas event. You created a movement behind it, and I think that's what it was.
They announced the alopecia pill after this debacle, or was it announced already?
I think they used that to announce the alopecia. I think it was a foregone conclusion. We are going to use this. Now, we can debate whether the slap was staged or not. I think the joke itself was intended to yield reaction. I think the joke itself was on purpose with the intent to yield a drastic reaction. So maybe the slap was genuine, but the situation that led to the slap was totally planned and in mind, and somebody said when this hits the fan, we are going to use that. Because again, I didn't hear anything about this Pfizer thing until this situation. But just like you didn't come across the information, well, I did. And it's true. And you can Google it. You know, so like again, like somebody is having a conversation.
If that's true, I'm still lost on how they benefited from the situation. Like I'm lost on where.
Like I said, if I come across it, then somebody who's way more tied in and with way more money has also come across it.
Okay,
like,
so now what are you saying?
So
now
they are
now because they invested in it now because Will Smith slapped Chris Rock now, or I'm still confused.
No, not because he slapped him, but because of alopecia. Now everybody has this hype and awareness and curiosity around alopecia. Just like you said, I still don't know what it is. Imagine still not knowing what it was, but having millions of dollars to fund the research to figure it the fuck out. What would you do? You would send them the money and get that big ass tax write off. That's what I'm saying. Again, if lowly me came across the information, just because our inner circle didn't talk about this shit, doesn't mean that high, locked-in niggas was not talking about this shit. Right. It happened and it's true. Somebody was fucking talking about it. Right. Somebody had these conversations because all of this shit is fucking true. So, like, it's not far-fetched when you start thinking about what's true. It makes me wonder.
What was you asking, June?
Like, it'd be hard, like, very... to monetize just the hype of somebody being slapped and then have like, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, I think that would be very hard to pull off.
What's difficult about it? What are the barriers that they need to overcome to make money off of that?
Like, just because people know what alopecia is, it's okay, but how are you going to monetize that to your benefit?
By funding, by the funding of research. Like, they gonna send you X amount of money just because they can end up sending you $200 million. I mean, you can spend $10 million on research. What is research? Right now, you still got $190 million that was technically gained off of this, but you are using for this.
So, yeah, I'm trying to break it down to the bare bones because I'm really, really trying to fully understand. You think that, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying you think Pfizer set this up to kind of attract like if I'm like an angel investor, I'm sitting on $1 billion or something. They trying to attract me, the angel investor, to fund your.
Not necessarily the average angel investor, but the ones who are locked in terms of medical research and medical investments.
Right, whatever your target.
Yes,
whatever
the average medical investor. Yes. The average healthcare angel investor. Yes, I think that this was intended to
get them to fund your
pull in, not necessarily just them, because they don't necessarily have all the money that Pfizer would necessarily look for. Like, the average angel investor is worth tens of millions. Them niggas is probably looking at a nigga donating tens of millions or donating 50 million, 100 million, shit like that. I think they are looking at overall foundations and certain funds.
Question: why would the Oscars allow it?
It creates hype.
For the Oscars?
The Oscars have had terrible ratings. Well, that's what I read. I can't confirm what their ratings were.
This was their second worst rated year I think after last
So
year.
that confirms it. What else are you gonna do to create some hype?
The slapping.
You got niggas fighting.
What
the fuck is gonna create hype?
And this
More
is,
than niggas fighting.
according to the Nielsen, I mean, you create hype on social media, but I don't know necessarily that they make money on social media. But just as far as like the Nielsen ratings, the TV ratings, they said this was still their second lowest rated viewing, and that after the slap, only an additional 500,000 people tuned in. So I think their total number was like 10 million, which is second. They before that, the year before that, I want to say it was like 15 million viewers, which is low, still low because they used it to doing 60 or something like that. You feel me?
So like that, that proves it. I didn't know that, but that justifies it. You feel me? Y'all obviously niggas ain't watching the Oscars. That would convince me to create some hype. And again, is it far-fetched that media companies or big, powerful billion companies have used the media to manipulate us? Or manipulate certain situations? Like, let's not act like that's not only true historically, but right now, regularly, it is normal in the world. So when somebody goes, like, it's not so much conspiracy theory or like going too deep. It's like niggas really be on that though. Like, you feel me? Like
they do that, and I'm definitely open to your interpretation.
And I actually wanted to ask you this question. What?
It seems like a lot though.
I feel you, but isn't it always a lot? Remember when I talked to you?
This is on some Jussie Smollett level. Extra shit.
But again, remember when I gave the fun fact about the original 9/11 that happened in 1973 in Chile? That happened. America got caught red-handed trying to fake a rebellion for a whole country. They got caught. The CIA and FBI got caught doing this. Right. So if that's true, if you go back to Cuba, they got caught doing that in the 50s. You can Google this shit. Yeah. Remember when we was talking about Fidel Castro and I was like, shout out Castro. Google it. Go read about it. These niggas tried to make his people rebel against it. They used Americans that look like them to start busting at them niggas. Of course they gonna bust back. So then America like, oh, they shooting at Americans. No, the fuck they wasn't. They shooting at y'all bitch ass. Like that shit happened. Like
that made me think about because like recently I was on YouTube and I was watching what does it do? What do you do when you like recreate video games, remastered version of Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
You remember that no Russian level?
I remember the hype about it, but I don't really remember the actual mission itself.
I don't remember the gameplay of it.
Yeah.
It's basically a level in the game where you walk into an airport and you're supposed to be an undercover spy.
Oh, I do remember this.
The whole point of the level is to just massacre civilians.
You fuck the whole airport up. It's like a match. I remember that shit.
And it's to cause controversy.
Yeah, I remember that.
He says no Russian.
Yeah, you in a big ass heavy suit, the big ass.
And then you fight the police afterwards, and then the dude like realizes you're a spy at the end and shoots you.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
And it's like that whole point of the mission was to like, well, the main dude, he was trying to cause controversy because it was at a Russian airport. He said no Russian, like don't speak Russian, so that they know they think this is an American attack on Russia.
Right.
So and somebody said that was like based off of a true event too. Like I forgot which country it was. It wasn't Russia, but it was another country that literally sent people in to massacre their own people as propaganda for another country.
Right.
So that's what made me think about like that's how far they'll take it to rather just off innocent people.
Yeah, like that shit's true. If you go look at our beef with Iran and go look at the beef, go look at why our beef starts with in terms of beefing with the Middle Eastern countries and stuff. That beef go back to the 40s. Go look at why though. Go look at how like I forgot the man. They was like Mohammeds and Ahmeds and all that. But if you Google this situation happened in I think 1956, either 46 or 56. They were in Iran or Afghan. They were in Afghan, and they like made a prime minister. Remember the movie The Manchurian Candidate? Remember we watched that movie?
The what?
The Manchurian Candidate. Denzel Washington was in this movie. Bro, if I played it, you would absolutely remember what I was talking about. But The Manchurian Candidate. Long story short, it's about America going into Japan and basically like staging an election. And like falsifying an election to get their man in, but that was based on a true story. It wasn't involving them, and it was like it was different parts of different true stories blended together.
Right.
And it was true. But the beef with the Middle Eastern countries go back to that with America really doing games like this where we see like, is it that deep? Well, it happened in all these times. Why can't I think it's happening right now? And it's just a little too obvious. That's all. It's just a little too obvious.
Countries going at it. This is just like just the obvious.
This is one of the biggest locked-in companies in the world. What company? You know that who is more locked in with the government? The biggest, most powerful, most pocketed companies in the world. They damn near are the government. Who gets all the tax subsidies? The biggest companies in the world. Who grants them? The government. They damn near are the government.
We on the same page.
Yeah, you feel me? So it's not like, well, they can't do it because they're not the government. Why they not?
We talked about how
they are agents. They're government agents.
How Buddy was in the political office, how he ended up getting on the board of Pfizer, who he just
I remember when you told me that. So you already see how deep that is. You showed me that, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. I'm open-minded. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying it. It seems like that.
I fuck with your theory. That's the first time.
Predicated on fact, like chronological fact.
Round table going. Let's get to Jew. You feel me? Get yo.
Oh man.
Break it down. How you want to break it down?
So I think Will should have went up there and backhanded Chris Rock. You feel me?
He was too respectful with the.
Right. He wasn't disrespectful enough.
This like he should have.
Throw that shark tail.
He should have.
Hey, don't play.
I seen the meme where
Oh yeah! That was dark. It was the zebra from Madagascar and Matt.
That shit was so funny.
Hey, that's out of line, bro. They really had him slap him and walk off. He really was like,
as a fish though.
As a fish though. Like, his legs was walking.
Yeah, no, that's shark tail man.
I think Will should have, went up there, add a little bit more flavor to it.
Yeah.
And then I think Chris Rock handled it how he was supposed to handle it. Because I heard the most. I heard the cops came and asked him if he wanted to press charges and this, that, and the third. Like, I think Chris Rock handled it like professionally.
Right.
As professional as he could. That's Will Smith. Like, what is you gonna do? Like,
let me ask you. Just to get some more of your take on it, let me ask you, do you think the joke was appropriate to start with?
Yes, I think it was appropriate.
Yeah, wives are on limit or fair game.
It's fair game, yeah. It's just I read that Chris Rock didn't even write the joke, so he up there working.
Yeah, the messenger gets shot all the time.
Yeah, so
It was scripted.
Pfizer wrote it.
They paid niggas.
Yeah, I think Chris Rock just handled it professionally.
Okay.
And he didn't do anything to like try to sabotage Will Smith or like, he could have took it further, but he left it as it was. It happened. He left it as that. I think that's the best thing he could have did. Shit.
So
I think they got a lot of respect for each other. That like.
Tell me shit about respect, nigga. You just
Smack me on national TV. Even with low ratings, 10 million people saw you on national TV get slapped, and that's not even counting the fact that it went viral in the whole world.
But
remember, Japan had the uncensored version.
About the man wife.
Japan watching you get the shit smacked out of you. Like,
you said something about the man wife. Like,
yeah, facts.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not like that's his side chick you capping on. That's the man wife. Like, they got kids together.
Right. Wife. She's somebody's side chick too, but that's the man wife.
Hey.
For sure. But yeah, that's what you got on there.
That's how I feel about it. Like, it happened.
I'm gonna say, for one, like all this hearsay, you feel me? He say, she say. But I do actually know. I do actually know people in the film, like a person in the film industry who knows, like Will Packer, who was the producer of the Oscars this year, and who knows a couple other actors that was in attendance, you feel me? So I do got a little more background, you feel me, on some shit that went on, some shit that was put out that wasn't true, some shit that put out there, you feel me, from people who was actually there, you feel me, like people who was attending and shit.
Yeah, even the Oscars lied. They said that they banned him, and then they asked him to leave, but then that was reported that wasn't true. So that proved the Oscars lying? Like,
not true at all.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And then the police talking about they asked Chris Rock, did they want him to press charges? If that's not true, now everything, everybody.
I wouldn't press charges. Would y'all? Oh, go ahead.
No, let's answer that question first.
Would y'all press charges? Honestly, I would just to prove a point. Assuming let's say let's tear down the conspiracy theory thing. Let's just solely look at it like a nigga says something crazy about his wife, and you got the shit smacked out of you for it. In that situation, I'm rich, you rich, and you know not to ever not to ever be susceptible to a lawsuit like that. Like a nigga worth $100 million, like Will Smith. You know how to move in terms of what you say, what you do. You feel me? Like you feel me? Yeah, you feel me? So all right, I gotta move a little different. So I'm definitely suing on the strength of
criminal or civil.
Civil. Nah, I don't want my boy in jail. But I'm gonna tap them pockets, though. No. I don't mean it like that. I mean, we black.
Yeah.
You feel me? It ain't that serious for me to want you in jail. I'd rather catch you at Walmart. We live in Calabasas. I know we live 10 minutes away from each other. You feel me? Like, it ain't that serious for me to want you in prison.
And that was brotherhood. We both black. You just trying to slap the black off of me, nigga.
You just no. I'm talking about if I'm Chris Rock. And it comes down to putting him in jail, that's different. If he smacked the shit out of me, I have every intent on smacking the shit out of him. You feel me? Just like how he brought up the professionalism. Let's say he was like, man, fuck it. Nigga, fuck this money. Nigga, I'm Chris Rock. I got enough bread. Nigga, we finna throw down right here. You feel me? Then what? So I think, I don't think he wants him in jail more than he'd like to smack him himself. Or more than he just like to prove a simple point to him, which is why he'd probably sue civilly. Nigga, you worth $100 million. I'm finna sue you for 15. I might really get 8. I might really get 5. Nigga, I still tap your dumb ass for 5 though. You feel me? Like shit, I'll take that. I can see that. Yeah, you feel me? Like niggas both rich, so that's why I feel like it's just a point to prove.
What about you? You seeking damages? You seeking a lawsuit or what?
Probably not. Like I said, I'd probably just retaliate with the jokes. Like, after you slap me, there's no farther you can go than that. Are you gonna shoot me for talking about your wife? Are you gonna really stand up here and square up with me for talking about your wife?
And
I'm gonna go in harder. I'm gonna embarrass you.
And so I want to make sure.
Get up.
Are you saying this as you, or are you saying this as you being Chris Rock? Or are you saying
being
this
Chris Rock as a comedian? Okay. You know, Chris Rock has some jokes that were ready to just fly. I'm letting every single thing fly. I'm talking about Willow, Jaden, the unnamed child you have. I'm talking about August. I'm talking about Jada again. I'm talking about.
And you leaving it there? No lawsuits, no nothing. You leaving it there to get my jokes back, and that's good.
Yeah, no lawsuits.
So okay, now what?
We got the money, and it's like at that point, it's my integrity as a comedian. Like, I don't like how he said, "Okay, I won't." After he said, "Keep your wife's name on my mind."
that was the only moment for me that
I didn't like that at all. Because then it's like.
That's the only one. That's the only part that sounded bad to me. That rubbed me the wrong.
Yeah, and then you saw how flustered he was after that. He was like, "We're here to present."
He held together pretty good though, for the
an award for a documentary. Like, he was clearly
for a documentary.
flustered.
I mean, but I think he handled it pretty well, given what it was. So
he handled it professionally. I don't know if he handled it pretty well though.
Given the situation,
assuming how bad that shit hurt and the embarrassment.
I answer the question as Melage or you feel me? Fuck, it's Chris Rock. You as Melage or somebody walking on stage or whatever event.
First off, if somebody walks on stage towards me, I'm not keeping my hands behind my back
with a card in my hand.
Because I get why
and didn't drop the card.
It's the Oscars though. You're not expecting a slap, and like you said, you brought back the video playback. Like you can see, he even kind of leaned forward, like. As if, I think he was expecting, Will Smith about to tell him something, shit, like the same shit he said when he sat down, keep my wife's name out your fucking. I'm thinking he about to lean in and tell me that. You sitting there like this, ready to hear it and get smacked, you're not expecting that. So, given how unexpected it was, I think he handled it well. Because you or anybody, you going to be flustered, you feel me? Everybody talk about fight or flight, but they always forget the other F, which is freeze, because 99% of people going to freeze initially because of the shock. Especially an unexpected situation like that, I don't give a fuck how tough you is. You feel me? If unexpectedly you get slapped out of nowhere, your first shit is shocked. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck going on? And once you get it together, then you gonna fight or flight. That's when that's gonna kick in. But you initially gonna freeze. You feel me? So I think he handled it. Pretty cool. What about you though? You would be pressing charges?
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
What would have been your initial reaction?
I already got my joke in, like, and he slapped me, like, that's that.
Monday morning quarterback. What
My
would
show
have been your reaction?
gonna sell out.
Right.
People gonna want to hear me talk about what happened. I don't gotta tell them no more jokes about him. They gonna want to hear me say about what happened. So I'm gonna make my money regardless. He the one resigning. Shit.
Right.
He the one pulling himself out the academy.
Chris Rock has done a show. Well, towards your point, they did raise his ticket prices was like $47 or something. They over $300 now. Yeah, a lot of his shows sold out. He already did the show and he didn't address it. Like once he said I'm still processing it. Once I process it, I'll talk about it.
I just wrote.
Yeah, that's material. Yeah, that's all material.
But his brother though, Tony Rock, he did a show. He got on stage talking big shit. He came out
he
to
was
Tupac.
talking crazy.
He came out to Tupac. He was like, yeah, this is my vibe the rest of the year. He was like, I wish one of you motherfuckers would walk on this stage. Like this ain't the Oscars, nigga. I'm gonna fuck y'all up. And he was like, well, he like, you know it's 10 Rock Brothers, nigga. He like, you know it's 10 of us. Like we gonna whoop your ass. Like niggas think it's just me and Chris. No, it's 10 Rock Brothers. Nigga, we gonna whoop your ass. He was talking big shit.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you did that to Chris Rock. Like, you know, Chris Rock has never like squared up with nobody like that.
Right.
He wouldn't have done that.
We all seen everybody hate Chris, nigga. We know what kind of kid he was. Like,
we saw that episode where he tried to be a boxer and that nigga lost his reflexes after getting knocked out. Like, that's probably why he didn't put his hands on who he walked on.
We all seen everybody hate Chris. That's a real show about his actual upbringing. You feel me? Like he ain't no tough guy.
I feel like
bullied and shit.
I feel like the fact that Will Smith slapped him and walked away, like
Will Smith was scared as fuck too. If you watch the video, not scared as fuck, but you feel me? He was definitely looking over, walking away, looking over his shoulder, like make sure the nigga ain't about to jump on me. Like he was happy he got away smooth. He, all right, cool, I'm gonna go away. You feel me? He was definitely like, gonna jump on me.
Right.
I really got to pull this off, go sit my ass.
But I feel like they left it at that. Like it was an understanding, like yo, we need to leave it at that. Like some street shit. Like we don't need to bring nothing else into this. Like
right.
I feel that.
And I also feel like Jada, it's words. Like Chris Rock didn't threaten your wife.
Right.
Jada could defend herself.
Right. A lot of people
Even
say
if that is your wife and you feel like you have to stick up for her, like respect. But at the same time, it wasn't even that big of a joke. It was a G.I. Jane joke. And two, Jada has a whole talk show. She's articulate. She can defend herself.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, especially more so white people. You feel me? Like words should never, words are never equal to like fisticuffs. You feel me? Like something I say should never equal you putting your hands on me. I done heard that take from a lot of people. You feel me? But I mean, that's not really how life works. Or you feel me? You say the wrong thing, you bound to get put in your place.
That's disrespect, right?
Well, so on the situation, you feel me? I rock with the comedian shit. Like you a comedian, you can say what you want, but that don't mean. I agree that you a comedian, you can say what you want, but that don't mean you're free from the consequences of saying what you want. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
I agree with that.
But
what's his name? Buddy Love went up there and whooped old boy ass. What was his name?
Nutty Professor went up there and fucked Dave Chappelle up.
Right.
Fucked Dave Chappelle up.
Right.
But I'm sitting here with my.
Now Will Smith would have did all that.
I'm sitting
Then what you would do, Chris Rock? Like,
but you saw what happened when that one dude tried to walk on stage with DC on Fly and he got knocked out.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Both sides is taking the risk. Whether you Chris Rock making a joke or you Will Smith walking up on somebody, both sides taking the risk for sure. But how do you feel? You feel that the line has been crossed. You tough. Those are the chances you take. Plenty of people try to defend their girlfriend or something and get fucked up. Like it happens. It happens. You feel me? Just because you the aggressor don't always mean you the winner. You feel me? But yeah. If I'm Will Smith, I'm with my wife. Like I'm right in your face, my boy. I'm not. This not that. You feel me? Like I'm right here in your face. And my wife got a serious medical condition. I don't give a fuck if you know it or not. Like my wife's probably been crying to me in my chest. You feel me? The last week or two about her having alopecia and her shit. You right in my face, talking crazy, making jokes and shit. I'm on this stage too, and I'm causing havoc. I'm throwing mics. I'm everything. I'm causing havoc. This ain't just a slap and walk away. Like I'm about to fuck you up. If I got it made up in my mind that I need to put hands on you, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm not just gonna hit you and whatever. Like if it get to the point where I gotta touch you, like I'm gonna really try to harm you. You feel me? Like for real. But so yeah, I don't think Will Smith was wrong at all. Like shit builds up over time. You gonna stand up for your family. You feel me? Whether it was wrong or right morally or whatever, that's up to individuals. You feel me? But you can't really tell people how to behave, type of deal. But the Oscars is flawed as hell though. Like they never asked Will to leave. They never. As a matter of fact, I heard from inside sources that Will Packard himself walked up to Will and told him verbatim, like, the white folks or whatever, they was talking about putting you out. I told them, hell no, you're not going nowhere. Like, you good, just sit down, chill, whatever, you good. You feel me? That's what I heard was told to Will Smith. You feel me? Like, you good, chill out.
Yeah, they didn't want him to leave.
They didn't. They said that particularly. Like, we don't want you. Like, I don't want you to leave. You feel me? Like maybe Mr. Oscar himself mentioned it. But I'm Will Packard. I'm producing this show this year. You feel me? I don't want you to leave. Or, you ain't going nowhere.
Good.
And so you feel me? I think the Oscars is flawed for sure. I ain't gonna get into the conspiracy theory. Like I hear you. I hear you. What you saying? You feel me for sure? But it's a lot to be. Like it's like it's one of those things where you'll be spinning in circles all day trying to determine if it's really that or not. You feel me? Like you got your speculation or whatever, but I'm just my whole opinion is based on just what actually happened on the stage. You feel me? And what went on. So I think the Oscars is flawed for sure. For not like if I am Chris Rock, this nigga for sure gotta leave. Like Will Smith gotta go. I'm not hosting nothing. I'm not like I already kept my decorum in the moment. You feel me? Like I kept it professional. Like let's shoot him out. Like I'm not gonna keep being professional. Y'all better move to the third row or something. Get this nigga out of my face. Up over there somewhere.
Yeah, the nosebleeds.
No, you're not leaving him right in my face for that. So was I didn't actually watch the Oscars or shit. I didn't know that shit was going on. So was Chris Rock actually the host or was he just presenting an award?
He's a host. I thought he's a host.
I have no idea. Shit.
I thought that was like the opening thing, right?
I think he was presenting an award.
Yeah, I heard he presented the award to Questlove right after that. So I don't know if he presented that award and then was also the host of the whole show or if he just was presenting that award.
I'm pretty sure he was the host.
Yeah, so yeah, he definitely not about to be sitting in my face for the rest of the show. Like, hell no, that shit was already awkward as it was. We not about to keep going. You feel me? Another outburst from him, nigga. I might take my shoes off. Another outburst from the peanut gallery. It's gonna be up, nigga. It's gonna be stuck. For real.
That's a fact, though. I don't know. That shit is. It is crazy. Like, why would Will? I mean, I totally understand. I wasn't even opposed to bro smacking him backstage. It's like, why would you do that in that scenario? You would think one had more sense. But I totally understand. I was about to say I totally understand snapping. Like that is the one thing that totally justifies and explains.
I will say though, to that point, if you are mad and you can't hold it and handle that backstage, then you were really truly. You could definitely say you were definitely truly mad enough to do what you did. You feel me? But if you wait till backstage and now you kind of cooled off, like okay, I'm not gonna hit him. I'm gonna just let him know about himself. Then it's a good thing you wait. You feel me? But if you still gotta go back there and slap a nigga, then you really mad. You feel me? And you probably is just gonna go on your first instinct, jump on him when you see him. Because if you that mad that you still slap him when you see him after the show 2 hours later, you feel me? Then yeah, it's just ugly. They just had that coming. They just had to see each other. Nigga got slapped by Oscar. My motherfucking Oscar fish, nigga.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Full circle.
So let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this. Man, right. He ain't winning that fight. Let me ask y'all this then about it. If you, I guess we already gave a perspective from both sides, so I guess I'll leave that alone. I'll leave it alone. We can leave it alone. I see everybody already talked about this shit to the moon and back. This is definitely a historic. You feel me? I made a joke before about us living through hella historic events from COVID to war. This is definitely on that level.
An all-time great TV moment in history.
This is something that's gonna be talked about. They might put this in the history table. Yeah. Nigga, this might be in history class.
In terms of things seen with eyes, like this will be one of the most memorable things eyeballs have ever seen.
When that shit first came across my phone, like a notification, I was seeing it. I'm like, hell,
bro, they was covering that shit on CNBC.
Everything.
Nigga, first tape talks about that shit. Undisputed Skip Bayless was out there and shit. And Max the next day.
That's how I knew it was big. I'm seeing this shit on Bloomberg.
Right? Squawk box, nigga.
Right, yeah. Breaking, nigga.
Turn that bitch to squabble box, nigga.
Squat box.
Break down. Niggas was doing
that was crazy.
Then I knew it was something like, okay, this one of those.
Right. Niggas was doing boxing breakdowns.
Viral, viral as you can. Viral.
Niggas was doing breakdowns like, yeah, he put his hips into it and said, I would like to see him throw a little more shoulder with it. Niggas was doing breakdowns and shit. Alright, this is my last question then. I want y'all to judge the slap on a scale of 1 to 10. The actual impact.
Actual impact. Yeah, I mean, we definitely heard it.
I gave it a 6.
It wasn't like a slap. It was like
you heard it.
It was like a thump.
It was the bare minimum of hurt.
Like he hit him with his palm too.
Right.
He had a little palm in it too.
Yeah.
He definitely got the hand for sure. Like he definitely got slapped. I heard.
No, yeah,
I'll give it like an 8.
Yeah, I like this form. I'll give it an 8 too. I like this.
I think he kind of walked a little awkward as he brought it up. He kind of came from down here.
I think it was the shoes too.
As opposed to
the shoes. Yeah, no.
When he put the hip.
Yeah, you remember it was a.
And then lean into it.
I feel like that's why he walked away because his shoes was so shiny they didn't stop turning as he threw the slap. He kept on turning. He was already made a 180 before he knew.
Right, he was already in the seat when Chris Rock knew he got slapped. He was like,
right, yeah, you definitely can't be slapping nobody in the stage.
Facts.
No, I'll give it like a 7.5, 8.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 8. A solid 8. It was a pretty cool slap.
I heard it for sure.
Yeah. I'll fuck Will Smith though. I'm telling you that right now. Don't try it. Oh, that shit was crazy. What else happened this week, man? What else y'all want to talk about, dog? That was like the main event. That was the main event for sure, man. That was the talk of the town for shit show. That shit was out of hand.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
I feel like that made the world pause. Like how it's like a weekly news cycle. Like that shit paused the world. You feel me? Like that was the talk of the whole week. You feel me? That was, everything somehow made its way back to the slap. You feel me?
I feel like there's so many like major events recently that like I completely forgot about COVID.
COVID is out of here. They trying to bring that shit back now, talking about his cases is rising. I think they try to say it's a new strain or something, a new dominant strain in the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going for it. That shit I really with, man. They done lost the people with all of that shit. I don't think they could get people back on the, you feel me, on that boat of like really stopping their life for COVID type shit. Like they gonna have their masks off and back to normal. Like I don't think nobody gonna be going back wholeheartedly into the COVID shit for real. That's what's up. I did see feel me, another main event I guess that been going on for a while, back to the Russia, the Ukraine shit. Russia low key getting their ass whooped over there. I ain't gonna lie, like to the extent that the Ukraine could whoop their ass. It's not like they China or the US or nothing, but for where Ukraine is, they damn near giving Russia they issue. I see Russia like changing their strategy type shit, like they withdrawing troops from like Kyiv and shit, and they trying to basically take over like a single portion of Ukraine instead of like marching into the middle of y'all shit, taking over y'all capital and shit. Like, all right, we failed at that. Let's bring it back. And then we're gonna take over this city on the east side. You feel me? We're gonna work our way one city at a time, type of shit. They out there getting fucked up though out here. It's like his top generals and shit is like giving like false or like incomplete reports to him type shit, so he don't really even know what's going on to a full extent type shit. So I don't know what's gonna happen over there, man. I hope that shit over with soon, though. I hope that shit over with soon, man. I said he trying to put the what's that shit called, the ruble? He trying to put the ruble on the gold standard. You seen that shit? Mm-hmm. They say he got like a 3-step plan to put that to put them back on the gold standard. You know, it's like they got international restrictions, so Russian banks can't sell their gold to like other countries that's not Russian allies and shit. Or if they do, it's like at a super discounted price. So I think Putin is trying to offer them a fixed rate. I think it was like 5,000 rubles per gram of gold or something like that. Like just offering that to the banks to try to like build up his gold reserves type shit. And then I don't know, he gonna create like a fee. Oh, he want people to start paying, other countries to start paying for energy in gold, in rubles. You feel me? Like basically, yeah, in rubles and gold type shit. Like we only accepting oil, energy payments in rubles, so that's gonna force other countries to stock up on rubles, which is gonna help. You feel me? Prop up the price a little bit more and shit like that. So I don't know. That's interesting, man. They definitely fighting back all these sanctions and shit. They not like laying down. They trying to figure it out and make it work and shit. But I don't know how deep that's gonna go, man. I don't know how deep that's gonna go. Man, what y'all niggas got, man? Y'all quiet ass. What's up with y'all, man?
I can take shit too deep, so I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, you know, Putin got to put Russia first.
Take it too deep.
Putin got to put Russia first, and you know his country going through turmoil, so he got it.
Y'all think that nigga dying, man?
You said what?
Y'all think Putin dying?
Is that a story?
That's a conspiracy. Like he's on his, like he got a terminal illness, so that's why he really turning up at this particular moment in time. Like he got a terminal illness, he's not gonna be around long, so you trying to like push or expand Russia, like get his legacy up type shit as he's dying type shit. You ain't heard that theory? I've been hearing that shit a lot.
I would partially believe that. I mean, he's invaded Ukraine multiple times. This is like his 3rd or 4th time pressing him, but this could have been acted upon sooner because of that reason. Like I could totally see that.
Right.
But yeah, he just doing what he already
He's
did.
not getting no younger.
He was president in 2013.
Y'all, how old is he?
Yeah,
I just seen a picture of young Putin, and I was like, oh damn, this nigga like,
that's crazy.
Like 70 plus.
He that old?
I don't know.
Let me see. Yeah, 70s. That would be kind of crazy. I don't know if he that old. I wouldn't be surprised though. He been in power for.
I think he been around. Yeah,
he been in. You say he 69 years old. Okay.
Yeah, he said. Dang, Putin. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, hey.
He look good though, man. That oil money treating him cool, man. He look cool for 70, man. He look cool. Yeah, that oil money treating him good.
I think, but back to your point, I think it's to his benefit. Like he putting Russia first. Like he the one with the energy, with the supply, so he could demand what he wants.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So he putting himself in position to win, and that's what you got to do to survive out here nowadays. Shit.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta defend yourself. You gotta protect self for sure.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
And then I just think that's more business for China and India. Like they're gonna buy more of the gas. They're gonna buy more of Russia's gold. Like
You said who?
China and India.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's another conspiracy, man. We don't want to go. We ain't gotta get too deep.
They do a lot of business
About China low key want Russia to fail, and they'll swoop in. I ain't gonna get all deep into it,
But explain it though.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
just about like, you feel me, they they kind of playing both sides a little bit, you feel me, like they obviously fuck with Russia, but at the same time they condemning them, they giving aid, they send aid to Ukraine and shit. But I've heard a conspiracy that they low-key want Putin to fail, want Russia to be I guess destroyed. They not gonna let like Ukraine take over Russia, you feel me, like China gonna swoop in and you feel me,
Send the aid.
whether it be the land that they taking or just the connections and
No, they gonna go on and rebuild.
oil reserves and shit. Like China want, I think China want, like I ain't gonna say I think, but China, the conspiracy is that China wants basically what Russia has type shit. So
They gonna go on and rebuild Russia after whatever happened to Russia happens. They gonna go in there and rebuild, and it's gonna be China.
That makes sense. Did you know that part of World War part of World War
that's
One.
a nasty one.
Oh my God, World War. Part of part of World War One actually started though because Russia was trying to invade China. The UK and Japan signed an agreement in 1902. So Russia and Japan was super locked in. They was buddies. And the UK and Japan was buddies. And the UK told Japan, like, you can't be friends with them. Like, we finna press them. They went to war with Russia in the 1900s. I forgot what the war was called, but you could Google this. Google the Anglo-Japan Pact of 1902. And they eventually signed one with Russia. They told Japan, the UK told Japan, we finna go to war with niggas. So it's best you relax, cause
this is Russia versus the UK, you said, or just Japan versus Russia?
The UK versus Russia.
Okay, UK.
So yeah, so Japan is the mutual friend of niggas.
Right.
So they telling the UK telling Japan like, nigga, fall back. We finna press niggas like it's up.
Right.
And so they go to war with Russia because Russia was trying to tap into China. They felt like nigga, this imperial Britain over here. You feel me? Like like if you Google, I forgot the term. It's called like the British sphere of influence. If you Google that term, it spans the spectrum that Europe has touched, or that the British specifically have touched in her. It's like 99% of all of Earth has been directly influenced by the British. They traveled everywhere, took shit, robbed niggas, killed niggas, did whatever. And so it's crazy. So like they telling niggas like, nigga, respect that, nigga. This the sphere of influence. That you better back the fuck up. Russia like, nigga, we right there. If you look at the globe, Russia and China are right next to each other. Russia used to own like Iran and Afghanistan and all that. They used to own all of that. It wasn't a part of Russia, but they own the land because they all right next to each other. Right. So that's East Asia. That's why it's not really called the Middle East. Right. It is in Asia, but we don't call Japan the Middle East. We don't call China the Middle East, but we call Iran and Afghanistan the Middle East, and it's all literally they neighbors. You feel me? Like Russia is close to Ukraine, just like Russia close to China. You know, but China is China and Russia is Russia. Why can't Ukraine be Ukraine? Like, you feel me? So, bunch of bullshit. But like, yes, I think it's interesting how you just brought up that, like, now here we are again where China sees it as like a strategic ally where, you feel me, like, we not really allies, but I could use you for what I could use you for before eventually I get the up on you. That's how America rolls. You know, like, we gonna utilize everybody. America was allies by World War II, worked together. You feel me? They learned everything about each other. By the end of the war, they like, I don't really like this nigga. Now we beefing for the next 40, 50 years. You feel me? Like literally, remember we just talked about the Cold War, the Red Scare and all that with the Russian spies being senators and all that shit, US senators. Like that shit really happened. Niggas were really beefing from the 40s to the 90s. And then it got worse up to this point. You feel me? Like that happened. So I could see China looking at them like, all right, nigga, this our chance. We finna help you get weak, and then we finna give you some terms where it's, hey, if you need aid, we need control of that canal over there. Right. We need control of all your or 50% of your production, all of your exports. We need to touch some of that money. Now you own Russia. You feel me? Now you got niggas locked in. You feel me? Like that's all it takes. Get you fucked up, sign you into a 360 deal, nigga. And get you fucked up. So I totally see that and believe it and expect it. Like the consequences that come of that. It's good. That'll be interesting.
Right.
That'll be very interesting.
Okay. I like that. Y'all got any like topics like any like you feel me middle of the show topics type shit before we
middle of the show
get to it?
Did I ever tell y'all what the last letter added to the alphabet was? Did I say that fun fact? What do y'all think the last letter added to the alphabet was?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Z.
Omega.
What do you think?
The alphabet is an A, B,
The
C, or
alphabet
the,
that you know in
Okay.
terms of the 26 letters.
I mean, we just one country. We not.
Yeah, no. You're right. I meant like our alphabet, huh? That's a very good guess.
What'd you say?
He said K.
Okay, what is it?
It's J. J was the last letter added to the American alphabet.
Okay, is there a reason behind that, or like, is there something behind
No,
that?
it just was added. Like,
Niggas was just putting shit like.
It just- yeah,
randomly,
yeah.
like,
just like I think February was one of the last years added to the calendar. I don't think it's the last. It might have been like the second
months
from
are
last.
named like after like Greek gods and shit. right?
Julius Caesar created some of the. He created the years.
I think like
the
Wednesday and
months.
shit like that. I think they named after like Greek.
Like July is named after
Oh,
Julius Caesar. He created February to have 28 days and shit like that. Maybe the rest of them are coming from there, but let's Google that because I could be totally wrong. But July is definitely from Julius Caesar, and he definitely created the Roman calendar, and we modeled our shit after theirs. That's why like all of our language comes from Latin. Who the fuck spoke Latin? Them niggas, like, bro, like.
Yeah, see, like January is named after a Roman god.
Yeah.
February is named after a Roman festival of purification. March is named after Mars, the Roman god of war. April takes its name from the Latin word, something meaning open. So they all basically got their names for different reasons. May is named after a Greek goddess.
Who added those to the calendar? Like, how did those become months? Who decided? Nigga, March, nigga, today March 1st, nigga. I said so, like,
Right.
nigga, today July, nigga.
Right.
It ain't August no more, nigga. Like, damn. We closed today. It's Saturday, nigga.
So is they on that shit over there?
It said what?
On the east?
Who in like in Asia?
Wait, what'd you ask?
Nah.
What'd you say?
They on a different calendar, huh?
Who?
What'd you say?
Over on the east.
Well, they're in a time
Like
difference,
the Chinese,
but they also have like extra days. The Chinese
That
New
is
Year.
Chinese New Year is like in.
But that shit not
That's
January,
also March.
February.
Yeah,
March.
nah.
I have no idea.
That shit not January, February, March.
Well, no. It might be.
I don't know if that's the name of their month. Actually, that's a good point. That might
They
not
might,
be.
yeah.
You never heard no Chinese motherfucker say nothing about January, February, or March. That don't even sound right coming from.
Yeah, but I've never heard them say any date. What?
You probably had. You wouldn't know. You don't know their language, nigga. You wouldn't know what you heard them say.
But in terms of English, I know enough Asian people. I think we all know enough Asian people where I think we would know that if Asians went by like some like Ham was another month. Like we would probably know some shit like that. If they had 13 months in their year. I believe that they definitely have extra days, and because of the large time difference, like obviously their hours are gonna be way fucking different than us. They're like 13 days ahead of us or some shit like that, right? Like
That's what I'm saying. What if they don't got 30 days in a month? What if they using their time different and they got
right. That's what I'm saying. But I think there's still 12 months. That's what I'm
13
saying.
days.
I think there's still 12 months. Google
Yeah, I
it.
don't know.
How many days ahead is China than us? It might be.
I
It
don't know.
might
I
not
don't
be
think
13.
they
It's probably
days.
3 or some shit.
My cousin was stationed there.
Maybe
They're
18 hours.
stationed currently in Japan. I think they like 14 hours ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I hit her for her birthday, and it was already like the next day or night or some shit where she was like, I don't know, 14 hours in Japan. So I don't think China just 13 days ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Throw the world off, like, you feel me?
It's
Out the whole.
9:34 a.m. on Sunday.
What day? On
It's
Sunday.
China right now?
3rd
Okay,
in
yeah,
China
so-
right now.
That's probably
So
the
how many
same
hours
shit.
is
That's
that?
like 14
14?
hours.
Yeah.
Probably the same shit. Probably the same exact shit.
Yeah, they ahead of us. I know that.
Yeah, I ain't never heard no Asian girl you say.
We start after
Like,
everybody.
I
That's
ain't
crazy.
We would have heard if there was another month. Like I feel like they might got different days, but there's still 12 months. I feel like they go by
That's our,
January.
that's
February.
again our
Being on the
American.
West Coast-
That's our American arrogance right there.
Being on the West Coast, our day fast out of everybody. That shit crazy.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, if they already a day ahead of us,
That's a fact. That's a fact.
and they on the East Coast,
Pacific Standard
yeah,
Time.
we right here, right?
Who created our calendar? Who created the
Julius
American?
Caesar already looked that shit up.
Who?
Oh, that was about the months and shit. He
That was a
said,
good fact.
Bob brought that up. The Romans originally used a 10-month calendar, but Julius and Augustus Caesar each wanted months named after them, so they added July and August. So the other 10 months were named after Greek gods.
So, who created? Like the Plato type niggas, like philosophers from that day? Like who created the order of that shit?
It says we go by the Gregorian calendar
Or
created by Pope Gregory
Gregorian.
1582.
Like Pope
As a
Gregory.
form of the Julian calendar. So it is based off of King Julius, or whatever his name is.
Julius Caesar.
By Julian reckonings.
Or is that another nigga?
Julius, yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's smart.
Yep, first implemented by Julius Caesar. So it is based off of the Julian calendar, which is his.
Okay, yeah. I'll accept that. That's a 97% fun fact. That's a 97% fact.
I mean, we still using that shit to this
I
day.
mean, it's a fact. What you mean? What is 3% false?
I think initially you said Julius Caesar created the whole like month thing, but it was already.
Well, I said he added the months in the year. I think he is responsible for like.
He created him and his brother created both. Created
Yeah, but the
responsible
calendar
for
that
that.
already exists is predicated on the one he also created.
Yeah,
He
facts.
created the blueprint and added 2 months to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you got it.
I mean, I don't give a fuck about what this nigga
If I had an
did.
actual computer,
I was
got
more
it,
focused
but I
on
ain't
if there was an
talking
extra
about-
month in China. I don't give a fuck about Julius Caesar. I was wondering if China goes by a 12-month calendar with different
Yeah,
days.
I'll accept it. I'll accept it. I'll have it.
I'll have it. I'll tolerate it.
I'll look
It's
to it.
true.
I'll have it.
Thank you for allowing me.
You know you can't tell nobody else that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be more skeptical. You trying to tell me some facts.
But yeah, I wonder damn, what type of time is China on? Like, or any other country? Like, what about the small countries that don't even get no love? Like, what day is it? What month is it there? Like, is it
The tribes.
April there?
People,
Like, yeah, like
I know a lot of
them uninhabited. Have you ever seen those videos about uninhabited lands?
Yeah.
Like where they really killing Americans because y'all cross this
Not
border.
just Americans, like
Anybody, yeah, but Americans are the ones that we hear about.
shooting arrows
Yeah,
at
What they
planes
do?
and shit.
Is that what they call them? Uninhabited.
Uninhabited lands. That is the official term.
That's
of
the
them.
term, okay.
Uninhabited lands.
That didn't ring a bell when you first said that word, but okay, I definitely a picture of them tribal people with the.
It also,
with the arrow. They just killed an American not too long ago.
Yeah, he was a reporter.
reporter,
But
yeah.
in terms of the term, I'm pretty sure that it is. But if
It
it's
sounds
not
about right.
uncontacted people,
Uncontacted people.
I was about
that's
to
the
say
word.
that
If you
also
said
might
that, I
sound
would've
familiar.
did that.
Yeah, because I definitely
heard that.
before, too.
Uninhabited is when I haven't.
Yeah, because it's not enough people.
Like,
Like, you know how like we need a certain number of people in it to
Right.
call it a zip code or an established.
You ain't doing
county
no
and shit.
census over there.
Yeah. You feel me? You don't know what the fuck going on. You just see trees and water over there. Like,
Well, you gonna be over a rotisserie.
you don't know. Facts. We gonna be cooking your ass. You trying to count how many niggas over here? We counting how many niggas you finna feed. Like, your body finna feed 10 niggas.
Right.
Like,
We're waiting on
you
you.
wanna know how many of it is?
We just
They
sacrificed
said
to
we
the
still
gods.
listening.
We was waiting on you.
You finna feel 10 different bite marks simultaneously.
They about to sacrifice
Is that
you.
what they doing? Where are they doing this at?
Oh,
They-
well, I don't know the names of the lands.
Uncontacted. Just Google uncontacted.
Bro, these
people.
lands are places that, like, so remember how I just said that the British sphere of influence, they contacted pretty much like 99% of the world, meaning they sailed over there, killed everybody, raped all the girls, took the women, took all the antiques, like the British Museum has the coolest shit in the world. How the fuck you think they got African shit? They went and took that shit. You
This
know what I mean?
is
So, like,
how if
they
Christopher
touched the
Columbus
world
came here and
except
niggas
these
didn't,
places.
if Christopher Columbus came here and niggas didn't negotiate with him or shit, like we just like natives like just killed him upon landing type shit. They on that type
like
of time.
the OG Native Americans, like the pure-blooded, we don't speak shit,
They
we don't know
speak
shit about
they-
iPhones, ain't no Wi-Fi, ain't no cell phones.
made out of bark.
Ain't no
Nigga,
guns, like it ain't no houses, nigga. It is the 1400s in this motherfucker, and we will put your dumb
They don't
ass
have a
down.
clue. They don't have a clue. They don't know what a TV. They don't know what an internet. What a nut. They don't.
Bro,
have
they
a
killed an
clue.
American recently, so they killed multiple, but recently they
Recently, they
smoked
killed
him like
everybody,
within the
yeah.
last year. I think he was
Well,
on
no,
a
man
boat.
trying to do it like a documentary. He was
Yeah.
trying to do like a documentary or something. Like you can't even contact. Like you can't even communicate with.
Nigga,
these
they
people,
threw a spear at that nigga. He thought shit was sweet.
He thought it was
They
sweet.
threw more at that
They threw a
nigga.
warning, like if they're just shooting a warning shot. They threw a warning spear
Yeah.
right in front of you type
Like
shit.
move.
Like,
you are
like,
crossing the
don't.
boat. You were crossing the line.
He thought it was sweet.
Picture everything like they surrounded by ocean, so like niggas gotta really be firm on like what's boundaries. Niggas can't just say the ocean is ours. So at some point in this never-ending ocean, you have reached a point where you need to turn the fuck around,
Right.
or you're not gonna like what you see
Right.
if you take one more step. Like they get to that point, that's low-key greasy. That
is.
like to see them unify and go, we protect. We don't want to be contacted. It's not that y'all haven't contacted us. The white folks came over here on big boats, and we put their ass down and sank those big boats.
That's smart though.
Years later,
Yeah.
somebody else came here, and we. You feel me? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I fuck with that. Like somebody else years later came through this motherfucker, and we put they dumb ass too. Now America, big bad, think they tough guys. We gonna put y'all dumb ass down
it's
too.
Crazy that they still
Like,
exist to this day, given the weapons and technology that we have. Like we can send a drone over there and wipe it out. The fact that they got sticks and bow and arrow and they still thugging.
Well, you gotta think about like they haven't been colonized like that, so their strategies and shit is still evolving from where they already stand. So they probably hiding in trees.
Yeah, they got the lay of the land.
Fact,
You
yeah.
just get hit with the spear.
But I'm
out of
saying,
nowhere,
but still
shit.
today we got a drone. We got drones. We can send a drone over there and get the whole
You
layout
just
of
fall
the
asleep
land.
like, oh shit, what's
The
that?
lights are.
We can send a drone and get the whole layout of the
Hey,
land. We
that
can wipe
sounds
them out
the
of
funniest
the
thing.
drone.
No, what they in the jungle, bro.
All you know is you don't see nothing.
We can fly. We got
Because I know it's people like this in the Amazon.
Make it
forest,
spitballs.
Right.
for sure.
Next thing you know, you tied up upside down in a dungeon.
You hearing
Yeah,
birds,
yeah.
monstrous people, like what the fuck?
Somebody that done.
That's how it be though.
Yeah.
Remember Joe what was bro name that ran against Barack Obama the first time?
Mitt Romney?
But that's
Nah,
culture, though.
John McCain.
Okay.
He was a war veteran in Vietnam.
yeah.
Like he really got tortured, like real life tortured, and escaped.
Yeah.
Like his stories
He
are
a real
vicious.
warrior.
Yeah, you know that's what I'm saying. Like they really, you was in Vietnam, so how we was just talking about guerrilla warfare. Like that's how
Yeah.
America lost. Niggas went and stomped on some land and got their ass stomped on.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
like,
Man, we don't Americans. we
niggas
don't
tied
live-
John
we
McCain
don't
come
live-
ass
we
up,
live
nigga.
We so high society and shit. We don't live nothing like
duct
these
tape and
people
all
in
tight.
other-
I said I was watching
No, other areas
I was
is
watching a
different.
documentary
Niggas turned that shit into some bars.
on YouTube off some tribe like in Africa,
Yeah.
and they lived off cattle. They raised cattle, and they would poke their neck and get the blood from the cattle and make their food. Like they'll get everything. They'll make it out the blood, and that's how they live. There was some old tribe like, and they didn't want to live how we live. They didn't want to have to go to the store. They just lived how they lived. That body paint, all that, like made their own clothes. And I feel like people got the right to do that if they want.
Oh, they should still be doing that, painting their body.
No.
Definitely popular.
I'm fucking with you.
I'm talking about some like tribal shit.
No,
y'all.
I
I'm
feel
talking
you.
about
I'm
some-
just fucking with you. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. I respect all that shit. I like all that shit. Like the Indian be painting their hands and their arm and shit, all the design and shit. I fuck with like real tribal shit, like people who do shit like that. Like the Hawaiian people or whatever, they be having the tribal
They
shit.
got certain rituals though where like niggas gotta get bit by hella ants and bees
cool.
and shit. Like some of that, them piercings that they gotta get.
I'm cool.
Real shit.
Those be like, man, do I really want to be
Gotta
chief?
get that
Yeah, like,
shit. Yeah.
nigga, you gotta get your tooth pulled out, fully awake, and gotta
Shaman.
eat rock soup. Nigga, like,
Oh,
it'd be crazy.
this. I mean, it's not completely random, but what you just said reminded me of this. Pete Davidson got Kim Kardashian name branded on this.
Is that true? I heard that
That's
too.
what they say. Yeah, that's what they said. That you feel me? Like branded on you.
Branded. Why would you do that? But if I'm her, why would you even want your dude to do
That's
that?
a red flag, no?
She
He
a
would.
bitch.
That's a huge red flag.
I would think so.
I wouldn't. I don't even got a tattoo. So the fact that you would think branded,
Yeah, never.
the pain, the permanency is
Wait,
that
how
if
you
that's
get-
even
how
a
you
word?
get- how you get a
the
brand
permanence-
covered up?
A band-aid.
Another brand.
Right, you rebranded.
Rebranded. Start branding that shit hella times in different spots. Now that shit just look like an unhealed third-degree burn.
No, you looking crazy. You looking super crazy. No, that's wild.
That's
wild.
ridiculous.
But I mean, we can either close it out or y'all want to like, y'all got like a life or adulthood topic type shit like that. I would like we could do a topic like that. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
If y'all could think of anything on the fly real quick, but if not, we could close it out or whatever. Anybody been through anything the last week or so? Anything going on? Any life shit y'all want to discuss, talk about, acknowledge any achievements you had, you want to acknowledge? Going through anything, seeing something new?
Life's been good so far.
Yeah,
So,
blessings.
I can't really.
Blessings. About you, man, about our guests, man. Anything on your mind? Anything in particular about anything? It don't gotta be like what I just said. Anything as a guest, you feel me? You had anything in particular you wanna bring to the episode? Anything you wanna talk about? Anything on your mind?
Well, let's ask you this: you tip? Do you tip like at restaurants or
Yes.
at service? What is your standard for tipping? Because this is the topic we had last week.
I don't have no standard. Like I'm gonna leave some.
Do you ever not tip? Like what? Okay.
Like, if I'm driving through the drive-through McDonald's or something, like,
Right.
no, I'm not
You
tipping
tipping in the
them.
drive-through.
Yeah,
You was walking lick, nigga.
You just
But,
generous
like,
at that
you
point.
can-
walking lick.
Have a great day.
I did the other day, like, go through the drive-through and threw them a 5 and was like, here, it's a tip for y'all.
You know, your crib back shit.
Yeah. But I feel like I tip a lot, but I feel like money come to me.
The more you give away,
Yeah.
I'm that type of person too. I'm a giver for
But
sure. Too.
I always just be giving money, especially
Same way.
like
To
if
a
I see
fault.
somebody doing something that I'm not, nobody expect no tip out of me, don't. But if I see somebody on their hustle, yeah, I do tip.
I'm that way to a fault. Not even just tipping, just like you just mentioned. If you see people doing like you feel me, you hustling on the side, you trying to do something, whatever. Like I'm a generous dude, like, cause I feel me, I'm blessed, and so I even before I was blessed, you feel me, like my heart always been like that. You feel me, heart bigger than my body. Like I'm just a giving type of person. You feel me, like. You feel me? You know, the kids be having, like, if you go to the store, the kids be having, like, we trying to get money for our jerseys.
Right. Yeah,
It's a scam.
It's
You feel
different.
me? More than likely. Maybe not. But I'm gonna kick you some real shit, and I'm gonna throw you some money, though, either way.
Yeah,
Like,
the
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
experience
fuck
is
about what you
still
selling. Like, I don't care. I'm not buying nothing. Don't give me nothing. I'll have a conversation with somebody and still leave you some money quickly, though. For sure. I respect the hustle. I respect the grind, you feel me? Even if you out here scamming, the fact that you standing out here in Vegas, it's 100 whatever degrees. The fact that you even out here with that clipboard, you feel me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you something. I'm gonna throw you at least $1. You feel me? $2. I'm just that type of dude, though.
I would like to add to that, like it's different situations too. Like a tip might be, you helping the dude you getting off the exit, and the lady with the sign, you might throw them a few dollars. You feel me? Like you might tip at the Starbucks, you might tip them. You might tip your masseuse that just gave you a crazy good massage. You feel me? Really got that ache out there, right. And really tip her good because you feel me? Like, so it's different situations. But like, I feel like, I'm always giving extra. You feel me? I'm always giving like extra. For sure.
I'm the same way. For sure. I'm gonna give. I don't care. Like, I respect the people who do them jobs and all that. Like, you feel me? I respect everybody, man. Give me good service. Do what you supposed to do. Give me some good service, man. I'm a look out. Period. Like, you gotta really go out your way for me to not want to tip you or help you out in some type of way. You gotta really.
The nail lady, get the manicure lady, all that. You feel me?
I'm taking care of her. You feel me?
The barber.
Taking care of.
I took my barber getting meals.
Man, so many the bartender at serving you with a drink, like your waiter serving you the meal, like it's so many. But I feel like when it come back to me, like I'll be finding money, like I'll find $20. Somebody will tip me $20, like I'm like okay.
Right. Yeah, you never go broke paying it for.
The security bouncer at the little nightclub, throw him, you feel me, his tips. I'll be doing it all.
Right.
Like the doorman, I'll be doing it all, bro. It's like
That's important because somebody has to do those jobs.
Yeah.
It's like you tipping them just off of that fact. Like I'm not gonna do it.
Right. Thank you for stepping
man,
in.
that shit all
Somebody
circular.
clear shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
That shit circular. So yeah, that's how I feel about tipping. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm one nigga, you give me some money, you can rest assured that it's gone, you feel me?
It's in good hands.
Make its way through the community. Make its way through the community for sure, you feel me? Like, I ain't no selfish person like that. It's gonna make its way through the community. Everybody gonna be cool, man. Gonna get a little piece for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure.
But I've been thinking about like really donating to like just not giving money away.
Like
just,
a real charity.
Yeah,
real
charity or organization or a foundation, and then getting a tax write-off. Like that's what I need to do. Shit.
Right, yeah. Yeah, when you really get down to it.
Yeah.
I don't be thinking about that, but yeah.
Cause you be giving away so much money, and then it's like,
Yeah.
damn, I could have wrote all that shit off. Like,
No, they know me at the Goodwill trucks. They know me. I'm pulling up and popping the trunk. I got all the goodies. All the blessings.
yeah.
No, for sure, for sure. Okay, that's a good little positive note. I like that. Oh, you ain't got nothing on your chest, nothing in particular on your chest, man. Nothing you need to talk about, tell the people.
No sir.
Oh.
Stay on your hustle.
Yeah, I'm about to say, give us a
For
positive
real.
note.
Stay on your hustle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, start you a business or something.
Mm-hmm. And talk to him. Talk to him.
That's all I gotta say.
Alright. Cause you gonna get yours.
Man, we getting it all day. I feel like it's there for the taking, you know. So whatever your vision is, you know, go hard for it.
Right. I like that. A nice positive note, man. A nice positive note. Let me ask my other hosts. Y'all got anything else y'all need to get off y'all chest? Say.
Really happy Ramadan. It's the first day of Ramadan for
Who was that? Okay, that's the Muslims. Shout out to the Muslims, man.
Speaking of Ramadan, I heard
Alright,
a bar.
what you about to say?
Nah, it's nothing crazy. I heard a bar from this random rapper. He said, I woke up and I got hungry like it's Ramadan. I'm gonna play that song for you after this. So it's just random that you said that.
Facts.
I woke up and I got hungry like it's Ramadan. He was saying, if you had heard the song, like he talking about like he was grinding hard and struggled in the streets. Like, I woke up and like a minute that I hit the streets. Like that's what he was saying when he said I got hungry. But when he said Ramadan,
Right.
he's really be hungry.
Now I'm gonna go on another tangent. You know, it was the best like grind hustle. I'm coming from nothing type of song.
What?
I remember that. It was like an Absol song. I want to say, dog.
With Kendrick Lamar?
I think Kendrick was on that too.
GTA?
You can have all my shine.
Give you the light.
That's one of my favorite like focus zone songs.
Nah, for sure. That song.
I used to rap like Jay.
No, but it was a song. It was a song with Absol. He was really talking about the struggle. Like I woke up, I had like half of a quarter of a tank of gas and only got $5. Went to the store and got a sandwich for it. Like it was a real
Was it
struggle
like
type song.
Kendrick
I wish I could remember what it was.
What's it called? The art of peer pressure. The art of peer
Man,
pressure.
I wish I could remember what that
song?
shit was
Damn.
called off the top of my head, bro.
He said me and my niggas 4 deep in a white Toyota. Quarter tank of gas with a pistol and a orange soda.
No,
You might be talking about
some
that.
shit like that though. It was some shit like that.
Because he said
So-
quarter tank of gas, so he was saying the same bar. He said a quarter tank of gas, one.
Yeah, it's
pistol,
called
and
Day in
one
the Life.
soda.
It's called Day in the Life by Absol.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, that shit. Well, that shit. The song start off by him asking somebody, "My nigga, do you got a gas can?" So you know it's about to be a real day. You know it's about to be a real day. But that's neither here nor there, man.
I think. What time are we at?
We in, man.
1:30. What if I ask one question?
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me try to think, cause I had one, but then it slipped my mind.
Let me know something, man.
It was gonna be about the struggle. Like it was gonna be. Damn, I had a question. Maybe I might have to cancel.
How much lunch you got in your pocket right now?
Huh?
How much lint in your pocket right now?
Maybe like 5 strings.
While you try to remember what you was thinking about, or got another little, I ain't gonna call it a fun fact because I don't know if it's still true to this day. I haven't checked the prices, but a week or two ago, keep thinking about what you're trying to think about. So I'm just feeling filibuster, filibustering. But like a week or two ago, I seen some shit that a nickel, like the actual metal content of a nickel, due to I guess inflation or rising metal prices and shit, was actually worth more than a dime.
Is that historically?
No, this happened like recently. Like the price of the metal of nickel, I guess, went up, or whatever metals is. I guess nickel is in nickel. I assume, but whatever metals was in nickel. The price of that rise so much that the actual value of a nickel was and possibly still is more than the actual
true
value.
Content?
The true value of the actual piece of coin that you feel me was worth more than a dime. Yeah.
That makes sense. A dime is smaller. That's crazy. Like, so it take less of that to make. That's wild. Like, it makes sense. But
like,
that's
your
sad.
nickels is actually worth more. Your nickels is actually worth more than your dimes.
Right.
But you were still getting the nickel value for it.
Yeah, you don't because it's, you feel me, it's
right.
fiat currency. At the end of that, you don't look at it really as a metal as what it is. You feel me? Like,
ooh, we can even.
if you had, I was about to say, if you got a gold chain and the government all of a sudden stamp some cheap, like they put a $3 stamp on your gold chain, and it don't matter what the actual gold is worth. Like if they say that this is a fiat currency, nigga, this gold, each of these gold chains is $3, nigga. But the actual value is obviously more than that $3. But what are you saying though?
I was gonna say, so let's assume that like the standard, like let's say crypto is standard, but the digital dollar or a digital yuan is still like primarily used by respective countries. Do we see a difference in like how like obviously fractional reserve banking is like a scam in terms of like debt being how the system operates? Do niggas see that being something different? Do you understand what I'm asking? Like niggas feel like crypto is meant to take power from governments. And I think that the way it'll eventually be implemented, the government, I don't know that they will, but I think they'll attempt to figure out a way to get power back. Like to which point we don't see a difference. Yeah. Or just to, in some way seize control or say so or influence. There's no federal law about the drinking age. The drinking age, Nevada could lower its drinking age to 11 if they wanted to tomorrow. But the government has threatened to defund anybody who does that. So they won't legally declare it a federal law. They just threaten you and say you better do it. I could totally see them doing something like that. Whether unsuccessfully or successfully is up to debate, but I think they'll try. I think that's like we can assume that they'll try and probably fail, but at least attempt. To which point, like, is niggas back at square one? In terms of like we thought we was gonna make this breakthrough, but these bitch ass niggas still got the power and to say so.
I mean, I feel like they got the power and say so until you feel me, till it's officially over with. Like it's gonna be obviously minor revolution. I guess it's like a minor revolution, technically to them. You feel me? But yeah, they still got the power for sure till otherwise. You feel me? Like they can come in and regulate shit at any moment. So yeah, they got the power.
I mean, even when shit is over and hits the fan. I mean, when shit blow up and it's a wrap and we never lay eyes on a physical dollar bill again.
I think
or a penny. Remember, those will get eradicated within a few years of electronic shit.
Yeah.
But do niggas still?
I think they still got the power, like the governments and shit, the powers that be simply because 90% of the population is gonna look to them, regardless of what's going on, is gonna look to them for the answer. So whatever they say is really gonna be what go. Still as popular as crypto is now, it's still a very, very, very small percentage of the population that owns crypto. You feel me? So people are not as savvy to that as you would think. You feel me? So you're gonna look to the government to you feel me? Like, yeah, I don't know. People gonna continue to look to the government as far as I know. So I think they got the power until further notice for sure. Like we still got old ass people in the world. I don't know if the world really ready for like decentralization. Like decentralization, like to that extent, like a 90-year-old motherfucker ain't gonna know what to do. That's a fact. That's with a lot of technology going on. I was just hearing somebody talk about that like a week or two ago. Like like we still low key waiting. Not you know, I'm not saying this in a malicious or ill-intended way, but like the world is kind of like waiting on the older generations to, you feel me, move to, you feel me, pass on type shit for us to adopt more newer stuff. Cause you feel me, we can't leave seniors behind. You feel me, when it comes to certain things. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what y'all boys think. What you think, Jim?
What was the question again?
What, my question or what he's talking about? I was asking, how do you see a way in which the government still manages to seize all control even when like crypto is fully implemented? Because basically, like the hype around crypto is that it will take power out of the governments and the banks. And what if that's not necessarily true?
I think crypto, the narrative on it is isn't what.
Like the narrative on crypto could be subjective. Like pretty much anybody could say,
Right.
"Oh, crypto's for this, crypto for that," because there's so many things crypto do.
Right. But that's the thing, though. It does so many things, whereas we needed to rely on one entity's say-so and laws. We now have the freedom to do all of these things on our own. You know, like I think that's what creates that wonder. So I agree that it is subjective, but it's also like the fact that Bitcoin is versatile and can do so many things that one nigga could do. Is he okay with being stripped of his power so effortlessly?
But I think it's not because if the government could stop Bitcoin, they would have stopped it already. That's what I think. And I think every day that go by that they don't or haven't stopped it yet is more likely that they won't or can't stop it. That's what I think about crypto. As far as like,
I don't think the intent is to stop it. The intent is to control it.
you can regulate it.
You feel you still want to let the biggest artist in the world be the biggest artist in the world, but Birdman will still rake a Lil Wayne for $56 million. You feel me? Like
right. As far as regulation,
Is that your definition of controlling regulation?
Yeah, like
You can-
so heavily regulated
you
that
can
it's stripped of some of the freedoms that we think it to be when fully implemented.
but then at that point, it's like, what's the point of it if y'all just took Bitcoin and regulated it to the U.S. dollar? Like,
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
you
Though. Like,
regulate it
what
to-
if they do that? You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Like, what if they do that? They would still inflate.
I feel like if they do that, the people, like I said, there's still a small percentage of the population that own like a Bitcoin. So I think the people, the true Bitcoiners and shit, like they gonna probably like, I don't know if they gonna get rid of it or flock to the next coin or whatever. Like I don't think they gonna really go for that. Like
I think the government is so far behind Bitcoin, they don't know what to do.
I do agree with that. They are behind.
They don't know what to do about Bitcoin. Like
It took them
they don't
It
know.
took them years
They
to
don't
even
know
acknowledge, to even formally acknowledge
They don't know
Bitcoin and
what's
use it
gonna
in
hit them,
the
bro.
like it took them years to officially formally use Bitcoin, the actual word Bitcoin in a formal statement. You feel
Yeah, but do you
They
think that
don't
that's
know.
because they were uneducated?
They don't know what's finna hit them.
I agree with you, but I disagree that their lack of knowledge is why they never formally used the word Bitcoin in an official document. I think they are some of the,
Of course.
not even the smartest people in the world, the most tapped in people of
For
the
sure,
world.
like they definitely as
They
individuals
knew
they
of
probably
it.
as individuals own Bitcoin and all types of shit.
I feel like the government
I'm
had
just-
conversations
I'm
on
saying, but
Bitcoin
when
and just didn't talk about
when
it.
I said that, the point of that was basically because when you start talking about like regulation and shit like
Right.
that, that's when we start talking about the official documents and wording, because you feel
Right.
they have to be intentional about their wording when it
Yeah,
comes to shit
but
like this.
they
So that's,
don't-
the
they
fact
don't-
that it took this long is a testament to how far they are behind. You feel me? Like as a governing body, not as individuals, obviously, but as a governing body. You feel me?
I think that's just coming to understand and perfect something. Remember, every time that there is formal writing, niggas talked about it informally before that.
For sure.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it was just individual. I think the majority of the government is thoroughly educated on the general applications of Bitcoin or
Right.
crypto in general. Now, nobody does. The most knowledgeable Bitcoin person in the world probably only knows like 10%. There is so much to know about crypto. Like Nobody knows like the smartest niggas don't know shit in terms of what the potential of this shit is, what it can do in terms of its entirety, like its peak capabilities. Nobody knows. But there are still niggas that know way more than anybody else on fucking earth. Right. I think some of those people are in the government in terms of how it needed to be. Now most of them probably not, but think about it. If
I think the government are bringing in businesses and say, hey, tell me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They're bringing in
perfectly.
They're
Exactly.
bringing in engineers. They're bringing in the private class.
They get educated by
to be like, hey, tell me what this is.
I 100%
You're the best
agree
in the
with
world at this.
Facts.
Tell me what this is.
We got the resources. You have the brain. Let's teach me about this. I 100% think that
and
that's
then
what's
we're
going
gonna
on.
take our laws
And formulate it on what you're saying. Exactly. I think
to
that
our
100%. 100%. That's what I think.
But I feel like they're so far behind. Like they done already said, all right, Bitcoin is property.
But
already said.
Here's my question though. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to address what is behind, because I agree that they are not as vocal and proactive as like a China. China has implemented tens of millions of dollars in digital currency, but I don't, and not to get conspiracy theory, but I don't think that that's on accident. I don't think that they're behind. It's not in their best interest to roll this out sooner than later. They're choosing to be behind. They're choosing to make it look like they're behind.
Yeah, I was about to say there's.
So yeah, that's why I wanted to ask.
What I was saying, I completely agree with you saying. That's not what I would interpret it with as what behind.
Just behind in terms of actually doing it and moving forward in real life.
What I mean by behind is, yesterday, the 19 million Bitcoin was mined, so it's only 2 million left to mine. I know the government not mining Bitcoin. Maybe they is.
19 million one you said?
The 19 million, yeah, we already mined, so it's less than 2 million left to mine.
Okay.
But I mean they behind by like.
Yeah, Satoshi somewhere popping a bottle.
They not like mining operation, mining infrastructure. Like they not the ones launching mining. Improving the mining game, like trying to make these computers faster. Right. Trying to.
It's the average 17-year-old nigga that nobody knew existed.
They not developing the Bitcoin code. They not developing like. You get what I mean? So. They just so behind. It's the innovators. It's the programmers. It's the engineers. Making this shit go. Yeah. Like, it's not nothing to do with the government. Good luck stopping it.
Right.
Y'all just gotta catch on. Like we been doing this. We started doing this in 2009. And Bitcoin's been running 99.99% of the time since it started. That's a fact. You can look it up. Bitcoin's been running 99.99% of the time since they started running Bitcoin. Like it never went down. And they got to prove every block, every transaction. Like it's all. So that's how I feel. I just feel like they behind. They got a lot to do to understand it, to try to regulate it.
But again, let's also make a distinction in terms of what they're behind on. They might not necessarily care that they're behind on Bitcoin if their intent is to make a digital dollar. They can study any cryptocurrency and copy it and make a digital currency. Right. The average nigga can make a cryptocurrency. So the technology itself, what if they don't give a fuck about Bitcoin? We know enough. We know enough about Bitcoin. What if that's, I totally don't know that. I'm saying, what if that's the case though? What if it's like, fuck Bitcoin, we finna make this. And all we need to do, we have to say so to say what's legal tender or not. So we can say if this is legal tender or if we ban it. They don't have any law on Bitcoin in terms of if it's legal tender or not, which means it's subject to a business. Just like businesses don't have to accept anything over $20. They legally have to accept $20 and less. Every establishment on earth legally has to accept $20 and less. You cannot. You can say, all right, we don't accept bills bigger than $20. You can only do that. But you'll see that in like a Jack in the Box or a Pizza Hut. They don't accept 50s or 100s. You have to take 20s and less because that is a legal tender law. So who creates those? The government. All they got to say is, so right now there is no legal tender law on Bitcoin. So niggas can say we do accept Bitcoin, we don't. That's why like there's no legal tender law on Apple Pay. You can't use Apple Pay at a dispensary. They'll say we don't accept that tap shit. We only accept Apple Pay. Nigga, pay us in cash or it's $3 on that debit card. Nigga, straight up. So subject to nigga, you feel me? Subject to your approval. So what if they create a law and say, no, you can't use Bitcoin? Then what? Then immediately there is compliance 100% trickling down in every facet of it. Somebody, or they could put a stipulation on and say there's no Bitcoin transactions on transactions bigger than $20 or bigger than $100, or no, you can't use Bitcoin to pay your rent or your energy bill, because they did that with paper money. Paper money couldn't be paid with in taxes because the government didn't want to receive that money back. They wanted to inflate the economy and make regular people deal with the problem. So they said you couldn't pay your taxes with that, but you could go buy gas with paper money. But don't try to pay your taxes with that shit because we don't want that worthless piece of shit back. That's pretty much why they did that.
If the government said that today, that you can't do any of them things, that's not stopping anybody from sending a Bitcoin transaction.
Agreed.
Like,
But it creates risk too.
Yeah.
Bitcoin gained its name through illegal transactions, so it would just tie it back to its roots, which is illegal shit. Like, so it would go back, but I see that. Does the price maintain its value if it goes back to that? Because now if you're right, niggas can't stop me from sending a transaction.
Well,
but if it's illegal,
you saying do it maintain its price if it's more risky?
yeah, because now less people will be using it.
No, I think.
Just like how it used to be, how we brought up 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, where it wasn't at that price, but it was still being heavily used for pretty much every criminal transaction that could possibly take place. But it was 2 pennies.
I don't know that it affects it too much because I think Bitcoin is.
Yeah, I'm not saying it'll crash. I'm saying it won't continue to grow more so than it'll probably maintain where it's at right now. I'm not saying it'll go back to $1 or no shit like that. Where it's at is probably where it'll be. If not higher.
Statement I agree with. I think it'll make it harder for new people to come into the market. But
right?
I think the average Bitcoiner now. I think the average Bitcoiner now is like naturally, or is inherently like a risk taker. You feel me? So I don't think they going nowhere because of that. But it will. I do see how I would make getting new money into the market a little bit harder, but I definitely don't see it hurting the value, but maintaining it. I see it maintaining for sure to make it harder for it to have another super surge of like new, you feel me, capital, you feel me, in the market. But yeah, I don't think it'll affect the price like that as far as dropping it.
But you gotta think about all the new Bitcoiners that out of necessity, because their assets got froze or seized, or the banks, they used to live in a country that's at war right now. They had to flee. Now they at refuge.
Right.
Like, now I got access to Bitcoin. I can travel with this. Like, I don't need a bank. The bank's closed anyway. My bank got blew up.
Yeah, but that's for the people in the middle of turmoil. The niggas that live regular everyday lives under those.
I'm just saying that's a new adoption that you gotta. The value of Bitcoin, like that's a new value added to the base value of it. You feel me? Like, I never thought I would need Bitcoin before this happened. You type shit. You feel me? Like, you never know you need it till you need it. You might need a peer-to-peer electronic cash system that nobody can censor your payments one day. You feel me? Like, they might close your bank accounts one day. You can't go to that bank. You feel me? Like, it take 2 weeks to cash a check. You feel me? Like, shit like that. Like,
but if we gonna rely on risk, just to play devil's advocate, niggas accounts get hacked in terms of crypto. Niggas can forget your shit and never get recovered. I'm not saying it's likely, but if we gonna focus on the risk aspect, all of this shit got heavy risk associated with it, no matter what of its benefits and capabilities. Like, all of that shit got pros and cons. You feel me?
Yeah.
I feel like anything, property, equity, anything you hold is gonna have risk to it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Even dollars got risk to them.
I agree with both of y'all. I just think like Bitcoin is gonna be used by the people by a certain group of people. Like, I don't, like, as far as it being mainstream and whatever, I don't know. But the people who using it is gonna be people who using it. Just like you got like the like Bitcoin, it's certain, like, it's just, I don't know exactly how to say it. It's just gonna be certain people that always use Bitcoin. Like, I guess, for example, like with what's going on in Russia, you got the Russian billionaires who doing shit like just getting on their yacht and selling to wherever. Like, when times get rough, you feel me? Bitcoin is one of those things that you want to have if you're a Russian billionaire or something. Bitcoin is one of those things you definitely want to have when shit hit the fan and you gotta do shit low key or in a hurry or whatever. You feel me? Like, for those reasons, I think Bitcoin is solidified.
I would say for any reason, Bitcoin solidified.
No, in fact, I'm just saying those type of people are always gonna make sure it don't go nowhere, because I feel like what then arguing is more so like I don't know, like what I'm hearing, it sound like he more so saying like civilians and like the average person and shit. But yeah, I don't know about necessarily the adoption by like everybody, but it's definitely gonna always have a use case.
That's why I think they'll exist simultaneously. I think niggas will predominantly use their country's digital currency for like the average grocery transaction. The average gas station stop will be paid in their country's currency. But just like you said, if I gotta make a certain type of transaction, I'm probably gonna pay that shit in Bitcoin. If I got a Pornhub subscription and I don't want my girl seeing that, I'm gonna pay for that shit in Bitcoin. So all she sees is 5XJ7910.
As far as everyday,
so I can see that. Like,
as far as
everyday
life, like activities, I think we're gonna just trend towards whatever is easier. Like, we're gonna take the path of least resistance. I feel like that's the whole trend of the world. Like, we just making everything easier, everything automated. Like, you feel me? You don't know. Like, if I'm using, I don't really be concerned if I'm using Bitcoin Cash or whatever. Like, I can go up to the register, nigga, I'll tap my phone, nigga, put my phone down. Like, you don't really, like, whatever they make that's easier, you feel me? But it's easier to, one day easier to, I got a Bitcoin card on my phone, I'll double tap and pay with Bitcoin if they can do it like that or something. Like, whatever is, it's gonna go as far as, like, adaptation, I guess,
it's all technology.
It's
all technology. Like, you decide every day what technology you a part of, what you're using.
Right.
It's all a choice. Everything valuable for different reasons and different circumstances.
Right.
You gotta have all types of money for different reasons. Like,
right. Okay.
But how would y'all, in this environment that we're in now, how are y'all positioned? Like, are y'all risk on right now? Or y'all risk off? Like, with all the uncertainty, with like the economic warfare going on right now between the countries, like, are you like, I need to be in equities? Are you doing a lot? Like, are you not doing nothing right now? You sitting back? Like, what y'all doing?
Cash, always. Like, for now.
Oh, you asking about us, like, personally?
Yeah, like are y'all just sitting back?
Well, for now, like in the future, that's subject to opinion. As of today, the few facts that keep me confident in terms of sitting primarily in cash is that shit is too overpriced right now. And that really matters in terms of like how much money you allocate into a certain thing and then a bunch of other things. If I only had to worry about this, then all of my money would go toward this. But I got a lot of other shit that needs funding to where, am I getting my bang for my buck investing here when at any given moment, we all just talked about uncertainty. So it's like every day we on borrowed time. One of my favorite movies is called Blue Hill Avenue with Alan Payne and one of the dads smoked the little boy.
Every day.
Yeah, he smoked his son. Boy, they were adults when this happened, but he didn't know, so he found out that was his son. But when the homies went back for the dad, they like, nigga, we finna smoke your ass for killing our boy. He was cool. He told the niggas, nigga, we all on borrowed time. And I'll never forget that shit. So it's like every day we're on borrowed time. The fact that like the shit ain't hit the fan yet, like that's what keep niggas like, do I want to get in right here when I don't know when shit could hit the fan? But then the second reason on top of that is like, regardless of that, as of now, cash is the most valuable asset on earth.
I wouldn't say that. I would
say what? Which part?
Cash is the most powerful asset on earth.
No, I know valuable, not powerful. Valuable.
I would.
As of right now, the U.S. dollar is the most powerful currency on earth.
Can I make
that
an
is
argument to that?
You can point out a point where it's less effective, but it is an empirical fact. That means it is incapable of being disproved that it is the most valuable currency in terms of application right now, not in terms of the future or potential, in terms of how the world ticks right this second, how regulations and international politics work right now in 2022, the US dollar is actively losing its stance, but is still, it's like LeBron James. He's becoming less of the best player in the league, to which point now he might not be. But there was a point where he wasn't as good as he is, but he's still the best player in the league. Then the next year he wasn't as good, but he's still the best player in the league. I think America was at that phase where we're obviously on our descent, but niggas are still trying to reach us.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate against cash. Period. It don't matter if it's the U.S. dollar, the euro, the yen.
Not potential though.
But listen,
right? Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page before we talk.
It don't matter if you pull up pesos right here in front of me. The cash's demise is it's all debt. That dollar is not your dollar. You owe that dollar to somebody. Is that a fact? Every dollar printed is owed to somebody else.
Technically speaking, yes.
Because that money.
But that's not true in a literal practice. It's true in a technical sense. It's not true in a literal physical existence.
Let him get this shit on.
He asked me a question.
Since that's a fact, since every dollar was printed as debt.
You say yes.
Wait, I missed that.
Is every dollar printed debt?
Every printed dollar is debt.
Yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
Meaning.
I just misheard you.
Meaning somebody did all the dollars.
Somebody is responsible for paying back that dollar's existence. That dollar's true value. Yes, I agree.
Right.
Yes.
So that dollar's creation was given out as debt alone.
Yes.
So them dollars you think you got, you really owe somebody.
That's not necessarily true. The reason that's not necessarily true is if I owe you, there's nothing I can give you except what I owe you. If I have $1, I can go get gas. I can go get candy. The nigga I buy it from didn't owe me a sucker, but I can go get a sucker.
He owed you dollars.
That's not necessarily true if I'm giving him the money.
But every dollar created,
money.
Every dollar created was created as debt, right?
Somebody in the world needs to pay this back. It does not necessarily mean I am directly responsible for paying it back to you. I gave you a worthless piece of paper and you gave me an actual good that I consumed. You then gave that dollar to somebody else for another asset. So yes, you are true in terms of in a bubble, somebody is responsible for this. It's like the mama coming home and seeing the fucking table broke. She got 5 kids and the table broke. Somebody speaking up or all 5 of y'all getting y'all ass beat. Yes, in a bubble, all 5 of y'all are technically potentially responsible for this. But in practice, only one of you niggas is, because in practice, the other 4 finna say, nigga, that nigga did it. He broke the table. Mama whoop his ass. He's the one responsible. So that's why I agree with you. But in practice, in terms of the actual exchange of money, one person is not literally responsible for the paying of a debt. Because by that logic,
we are responsible for the debt. That's what I'm getting at. These dollars is owed
as a whole, like
not as
an individual, but
right.
as a whole, as a country, as a nation.
Right.
Yeah, but that's different than saying you're responsible for the debt, which is verbatim what he's saying. I was agreeing with that. That's why I said in a bubble, yes, that's true.
I'm getting to my problem. I'm getting to my problem with the fiat currency.
Right. Okay.
These currencies, these governments is giving out. It's all owed. It's all owed money. Like
right. Yes, I agree. Yes.
Debt.
Yes.
And that's all my point. Like that's.
And that's because your original statement was about the dollar being the most valuable. So, but his I guess counterpoint was that dollar is inherently debt. So
which is true, but again,
which I wouldn't say would be the most valuable thing in my.
So, question. Is
Warren
Buffett $144 billion in debt? Is Warren Buffett $144 billion in debt? Or can he execute that $144 billion to go make way more fucking money than what that $144 billion is currently worth? Is he in debt, or does he have a lot of money and a lot of flexibility to go accumulate assets that'll bring back any more money? That'll simply answer the question in terms of practice versus theory. In theory, yes, it's true, but in practice, is Warren Buffett in debt? Are the richest niggas on earth in debt? No, they're the richest niggas on earth for a reason. They can't possibly be in debt. They're the richest niggas on earth.
We're the most
we the richest niggas then because we have the least money in terms of relative to those niggas. We the richest then because we technically are the least in debt. So technically speaking, we have the highest positive net worth. That is not necessarily true. We
I
don't
get what he's saying.
we don't have a positive net worth relative to those niggas. We are not richer than those niggas, even though they exist. They have more debt than us by your definition.
I'm about to say,
they have more debt than us.
We are though, man. If you really go that deep, if you really go, obviously not. He got 144 billion in cash, but if
that's
you go
what I'm
that
saying.
deep,
As
like,
it applies in terms of his day-to-day life, when he wakes up every day.
Yeah, but you feel me? If we go that deep, yo, you feel me? Yo, we can look at how much Berkshire is worth, how much the shares worth, how much
are they in debt,
or
are niggas over there eating? Niggas over there eating.
Technically, the company is in
fettuccine and
the company
Lamborghini.
has debt. They not in debt, but technically the company has
Yeah,
debt. But
yeah. Just like Apple. Apple's one of the least in debt companies on earth.
Sure.
Like,
yeah. So y'all both right. Y'all both
but in
right.
terms of holding, Apple also is top 3 in terms of cash assets. You can Google it.
It's a fact that what you said about they are the richest because they hold the cash, but it's also a fact what he's saying. It's not their fault.
It's debt eventually. I agree. It's debt eventually. Right now, it's an asset. It's debt eventually, but right now, which is why I specified at the beginning. Right now, as things are and the world is presently constructed right now, cash is an asset. Eventually, when a financial crisis happens, is when cash becomes a debt. That's what it is a financial crisis.
When everybody need their money,
it's a deferred
facts.
debt. Yeah.
Facts. But that's why I said day to day, like somebody gonna be responsible for this ass whooping when it's all said and done. But right now, today,
that's all I'm saying. And
we
don't got the money to pay for that. When everybody need that dollar that.
But we have the least dollars, which means we have the least debt, like you're saying.
When we
and
need
when
all
shit
the
hits the
dollars,
fan, we'll be the most fucked up.
when we need all the dollars we lend out, they not gonna have the dollars to pay us. That's all I'm saying. Like, hey,
Agreed.
who got the dollars? Everybody in debt.
Right. Agreed.
I agree with that. Yeah, I
So
ain't arguing.
then-
I totally agree with that.
That's
Then that get into hyperinflation. That happens. That happens to countries in the modern era, in the old eras. Like that happens to governments. It's a cycle of debt. Like you gotta go through it. There's no avoiding it. Like.
But what changes with digital currency though? Which is what I was initially asking. So if we talk about fiat currency and hyperinflation, what is the difference when they can just, instead of physically inflating, they're gonna digitally inflate, which is for a fact what they've been doing for the last 30 years. They literally used to print money. The reason we say print money is because the government literally had a state treasury, had a section of the state treasury office where all these niggas did was literally print actual money. Go get the paper from under the desk, put that motherfucker in a filer and load up 1,000 of those. Take those 1,000 and go drive that shit to the bank for the bank to loan. So it was literally printing money. Now, everything is operated digitally. Ben Bernanke said this about the financial crisis. They asked him, how did they solve the financial crisis? And he made a joke, which was literally true though, but he simplified it by saying, we just typed in a couple numbers on computers. They literally did that. We gonna create we gonna send y'all niggas $800 billion. We gonna send y'all niggas $700 billion. That happened. That's what they just did in 2020. So when things become digital, which they pretty much already are, what prevents them from still being able to hyperinflate a digital currency when they'll still have potentially the same laws intact, the same power? That's why I asked that question. If they still are trying to maintain that power and they're willing to do whatever they can to maintain that power, aren't we still back at square one, which is still a fiat currency, just a different version of it? So exactly what you're saying is why I asked that question, because if, in terms of hyperinflation, they don't give a fuck about that if they can still maintain power, if they can still inflate a digital currency. Like if the Federal Reserve still exists and 18 niggas who make up the FOMC can randomly get together and say, all right, we're going to increase the money supply, we're going to decrease the money supply. If things are digital and we go on with a digital dollar, they're still going to have those meetings and still make those decisions, which will still have the same impact on us. What changed then? We just went digital. It's just crypto now. They still fucking the economy up the same way.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not enough of a crypto head to have an answer to that question.
Me neither. That's why I asked. I'm not saying what is or what ain't, but
I just feel
my
like
knowledge leads me to ask certain questions.
I just feel like take their dollars and go buy you some property, some
Agreed.
assets,
Take those dollars and go buy something else. Agreed.
Some equities, some metals, whatever you
100%
like, whatever
agree.
you understand. Take the dollars you getting and
100%.
To close this topic out, I'll answer a question you asked to close the topic out about like what how I feel about holding cash or my assets or whatever in the current time. For me personally, my I guess you I guess I'll call it an investment strategy. I don't look at it like that, but I guess you could call it that. It just kind of, for me, it just never changes. You feel me? I believe in being well diversified at all times. You feel me? Different conditions in the world is gonna make different markets react in different ways. So I just feel like I'm personally well diversified. To there's times where I stop investing in something, like not necessarily I sell an asset, but there are definitely times where I sit back and whatever cash I'm making, I'm keeping this cash. I'm not investing. I'm not actively investing it, but I always have a diverse portfolio of assets, like at all times, like stocks, gold, real estate, motherfucking whatever. You feel me? Whatever assets I'm into, I like. You feel me? I own. You feel me? So it's never really. I'm not in the business really of like buying and selling all the time type shit. Like whatever I do buy, I'm holding it. So I'm always invested in something. You feel me? There's never a time I'm all cash because I just don't liquidate everything like that. You feel me? But yeah, that's how I go about it. Like shit gonna go up and down at different times. Like crypto might be running at this time while property values might be going down at this time. But gold is going up over there. So I just feel like I got a cool balance. Like I can always reach somewhere and grab something. You feel me? That's how I look at it though. Like but yeah, right now I agree with Dennis as far as like right now I'm definitely not like buying nothing right now. You feel me? I haven't bought an asset, and I don't know if I bought a new asset this year. I'm trying to think. Not at least not a large sum. I might have like threw a couple dollars at something that I already own, in a position I already had or something. But I don't think I made like a purchase of a new asset or anything like that this year.
I think the more, to add on to what you just said, I think the more simple your shit is, the more you understand it, is more important than like owning a bunch of different shit.
Right.
Like all you need is a few good investments, like, and really understand them and really believe in them, because that's all you're doing is getting your idea, doing your research, and then putting some money behind your idea. So
yeah,
I feel like you only need a few of those to
outperform
the market.
More than one way to skin a cat for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like whatever you comfortable with, if you comfortable with having like just like a one or two assets, you feel me, that you really fuck with, believe in. That's one thing. I think for me more so it's not about with certain shit it's not about making money necessarily. Just be about like being, like I said, being diversified, having shit in different places, because at the end of the day no one knows any given moment, any given day what could happen.
Anything could go
Anything can happen on any given day. You feel me? Like where one asset tanks and one goes up, or a couple of them go up, a couple of them go down. Anything can happen on any given day. So regardless of how much you believe in any one asset, you feel me, anything can happen on any given day. So that's just kind of why I spread it. I definitely got my favorites. You feel me? Shit I put more money into. Like you feel me? My percentages is definitely locked in. Like I know I'm putting this much over here, this much over there, type of deal. But I will say, me personally, I do believe in having multiple things. But I still, even to your point, like I still think even if you do own multiple things, you definitely should know what everything that you touching is. You feel me? Like you feel me? Go in depth on whatever you own. You could go in depth on more than one or two things if you got the time and you willing to do that. But it's just different strategies, just different ways to go about it. Feel me, wherever you feel most comfortable with your money.
Yeah, I would say just understand what you own. Whatever you finna buy, just understand it. Know why you buying it. Like not because they're probably just know why you buying it for sure.
Yeah, I like that we wrapped it up with that. I always like when we get back to our roots. You feel me? We all FinLit footsteps. We do what we can get into that bag. We try to keep it, you feel me, diverse and shit, but we definitely can get into that bag. I like when we get into that, for sure. But yeah, just for the sake of time, man, I think that's all we got for the day, man. Everybody got everything they needed to get off. Yeah, well, this has been another edition, you feel me, of the FinLit Footsteps podcast. Shout out to special guest, you feel me, friend of the show, family member.
Appreciate y'all having
Jew for coming through, man. Hustler of the year.
Appreciate it.
Official paper boy, man.
Sir.
Yeah, Yeah, go ahead, get your shit off. You wanna throw your social media or anything? Get your shit off.
Y'all know where I'm at. I'm on Twitter. Cool as Jew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything money over there. So
Right.
holla at me.
For sure. And then y'all know the crew, man. He being modest. I'm gonna call my shit, man. Y'all know who I'm there, Barrel of Flair, man. AKA Mr. Take It There. There, Barrel of Fleas. He make it look easy, man.
Yes, sir.
On your bitch head like a peasy. I'ma pop mine. Go ahead. What else we got? Go ahead, B.
Oh, no, yeah, man, I keep it plain and simple. You know, it's the Domo Adi Guapster. I ain't talk too much.
Man, y'all know who we got in the corner over there.
Yup, Melly J.
Keep it easy.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Right.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, check us out on the YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, man. We on the audio platforms as well. Spotify, Apple, you know. If you know, you know. Ain't no need to explain it, man. But check us out wherever you check us out, man. Share it with somebody. And let us know what you think, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Peace.